Maybe. Maybe I was gaslit. I like heard you. No, I don't.
Hello? Is it working? Hello?
I think it is.
Okay, cool. Alright, bit of a scuffed stream. My fault, everybody. I was told to get on the cast a little too late, but regardless, we are here.
Look, I mean, scuff cast better than no cast, right?
It sure does. And hopefully the draft links actually work, so no more Microsoft Paint. Even though I never really did do Microsoft Paint.
Man, weren't you doing like an audiobook last time?
No, I think I literally just like, yeah. It was like a fucking, just like public speech, you say? We do have draft link. It looks like they're ready. I would assume so because I had them wait like 20 minutes. Let's see. Okay, so bans are working, but picks are not. Which is crazy. Oh, they're working. Holy moly.
I don't see anything happening. Am I tripping?
I had to transition, do a little transition.
Oh, you're talking on there. Perfect.
Alright, looks like we're all ready to begin the draft. Isopod Island. Oh, this is not fixed. Isopod Island versus the highest of Crocs. Thoughts on these two teams? Less worse? That's a bit late.
Yeah, so this is gonna be my first time watching either of these teams. I think Isopod Island they were on stream week 1. Obviously they've got Prize, who I played with last season, really strong 80 carry. Cy William was one of the best junglers last season as well. Porf new to LBL. I think they came from Risen. Recognize the name. Never played against them, but they seem pretty good. And then the other side, on THOC, obviously I'm pretty good friends with Papa Doge in the mid lane. This is gonna be his first LBLCS or not LBL action. Too many things on the mind. And they just kind of look like a pretty well-rounded squad across the board. Nobody like really standing out as like I mean, I guess Zeph is like the pretty high-ranked jungler, but there are a lot of those in the LBL this season. You got Haversack, Zeph,
That last force
Left
guy.
Force. Yeah. I had to say myself for last though.
True.
But I mean, should be interesting. Hoping to see what THOC's got cooked up, because like I said, I think this is their first match. They did not play week 1. It was recorded as an FF, I believe.
It was.
So curious to see what they've got lined up.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. I think the enemy team could field their 5 players, and Hawk just kind of had a bit of overlap with their schedules, so we haven't seen them yet. But I'm excited to see them play. I'm excited to see Papadoge and Zeph. I'm really excited for this mid lane matchup. Clove and Sileum versus Papadoge and Zeph. I really want to see how these two teams played out.
Yeah, and it looks like they're already into the draft phase. Bans coming through on both sides. Anivia B1. I know that you're a big fan of that.
Good thing Dream Team is on that game.
Followed by the Kane and Zaya coming out for THOC. Now, of course, I guess maybe the Anivia probably was crazy in the series. Papadoge is a big fan, but I guess Clove is a bigger one.
Yeah, so just I think remembering, kind of Clove is a new player. They are a new player to the LBL, but I do remember seeing on their OP.gg they are a bit of an Anivia, not one trick, but they do play a lot of like the Anivia, the Ari. I've seen Seraphim mid too from them. A bit of a mage player. I'm not surprised the Anivia was taken so early, because Papadoge, like you said, is an expert. Like he plays that a lot mid lane. So really contested pick.
Yeah, very snoozer, very hard to punish. Poppy, Kaisa gonna be your 2-3 coming out for Isopod Island. Poppy, Anivia, one of those kind of cheesy combos. I'm not sure if I've ever actually seen it work in practice, but like in theory, the execution is super simple. And it's gonna be the Talia on 3, potentially into Anivia. I'm not really sure how that mid lane matchup goes. Doesn't really seem super interactive.
No, it's quite literally I'm gonna hit minions until something happens.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't be surprised if that
Either way,
Talia actually was going jungle. No, Kane, of course. I'm sorry, I'm stupid.
it
Ignore me.
could be Kane top. It
It
could be
could
Kane
be.
top.
I don't know how K-Pack plays, but it could be.
Could, maybe should. That's like a different question, right?
Hey, I
But
mean,
interestingly, the read from THOC is that this Poppy is going support. Because they're banning out the Skarner from Cy William, they're banning out the Zac, they're banning out these kind of engage setups for this Kaisa, for this Poppy. So that's interesting. I don't know. Poppy blind support doesn't sound very good to me. Um, but if there's one person in the LBL that can pilot it, it is probably Zero Cola. I've learned to not I've learned to not doubt um, the superstar player in the support role.
um, I mean, I like the jungle bans coming from THOC here. You don't know where that puppy could go, so it's kind of safe to just ban out these threats that Cy William has been known for, like his Skarner. Even though Skarner is like one of the worst junglers on the patch, I
Mhm.
I think Cy Williams' Skarner is just way too much of a menace. I
And plus
feel,
in comp, it's just very like
yeah,
it,
for
solo
sure.
queue Skarner very different than comp Skarner. It's
Mm-hmm.
still super strong, super impactful. And THOC is actually just throwing down the gauntlet, and they're saying this is not Poppy support because, well, wait, no, because they ban out junglers. I don't know. That's ballsy as hell to pick Alistar into what you thought was Poppy support, but it's actually probably Poppy jungle as we're gonna get the Braum answer into Alistar. Really good at dealing with those engage supports. Going to be Kaisa Braum. I feel like it's a pretty strong pairing. I feel like they can kind of synergize pretty well if the Braum is playing aggressive, getting the passive onto these like kind of squishy members, and it's gonna be a Cassante hover. This team is beefy as hell.
I really like the Braum pick here. I think it's very hard for for like even Zaya. I think Zaya wants you to kite into her, and Braum kind of just makes it so that his entire team, even if they're if they're running into them, will just block the blade caller route. So I really like the Braum pick here. I think it's
Yeah,
really
and
good
then it's
with their
gonna
comp.
be Gnar on 5 is going to round us out for K-Pack up in the top lane for THOC, and that's our draft. Taking a look at what we've got here, like what's standing out to you? What are you making of these 10 picks?
I do agree. With Rengar is my kitty Rar. Uh, how are you killing Poppy Braum Cassante? I think it's very hard for the unless I guess Bach goes Red Cane. Red Cane could deal with these tanks. He excels against tanks, but I think the side of Thok will have a really hard time killing the tanks. And the carries on the side of Isopod Island are really well protected, like Kaisa and Nivea. Even if they're caught out, they're not really caught out because you have like the Poppy there just to kind of get Thok off of them. So I really like Isopod Island's draft here.
Yeah, I think for me this like kind of comes down because it's all about perspective, right? Like on the one hand, it's like how do you get through these tanky members of Isopod Island, and then on the other side, it's like if you get if you kill the carries on Isopod Island, like where's the damage coming from? Like there, it is a Kaisa, which yeah has a lot of escapability, has a lot of peel, but if they get caught out by Alistar or they get hit by like a seismic shove from Talia, they're getting popped. And Nivea, he's gonna be standing super far back, but if your Kai'Sa's dead and your only source of damage is the Anivia, I do feel like there's opportunities for THOC to kind of win the team fight, but I definitely think it's an uphill battle. I think the ease of execution is for sure on blue side, but again, that's only half the battle. You do have to actually go out onto the rift and get the wins. End of the day, how did off the top of my head, I can't recall how Isopod did week one. They played, was it
I'm not sure.
Pigs in a Blanket? I think it
Um,
was a 2-1. Yeah, it was 2-1. They took down the piggies, I
the
believe
King
they're
Pig,
calling themselves.
the King Pig himself.
The King Pig himself. So they win week one. This is their week two match. Waiting until, the absolute last second to get it in for the week. Um, Hopefully they enjoyed Mother's Day. Hopefully everyone in the LBL who's got the mothers to hang with, took them out to dinner, lunch, or whatever fun stuff. I know you were coming in late from that.
Mhm.
How was that?
Pretty good. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I'm sure somebody who's watching the stream is one wanting to be one. Whatever. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. It was good. Nice little dinner. Wasn't that busy actually at the restaurant. Wasn't that bad.
That's good.
I didn't know we were planning to cast the games today. I know we had games, but I didn't think we were gonna cast them. This is very last minute. I have no scouting, nothing. I don't even know who's playing.
I mean, literally, we were talking about, oh yeah, we'll get some games back, or get our rank back whenever you get home, and then things change. But that we got after the cast for that. We've got may or may not have masters to get back.
Oh, good.
But
You know what? LP is temporary. I
that's
say to
true.
myself, I'm coping.
LP is
I could be coping.
temporary. Well,
Well, no, I'm coping.
maybe like a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
like, what was that you said last night? Like in order to have like a big rise, you got to have like a bigger
A
fall
big
or
fall.
some
With
shit.
every big rise comes a big
Yeah.
fall. With oh my god, holy fuck, I'm starting. And with a big fall comes an even bigger rise. So keep grinding, guys. Keep
That
on
is
grinding.
gonna be hopefully no 31 death bot lanes. Hopefully
Mm-hmm.
no um 15 death Akalis. Like I feel like our
Not
bar
mine. Not
of
mine,
like
by the way. Not me. It wasn't me.
no, yeah, it's important to know. Like I for sure wish I had the dream to be Akali in that game.
It wasn't me. I swear.
I
Um.
mean, I don't know if I've ever seen you have 15 deaths in a game. Maybe 10, but
Mm, fuck. We're living that down. Um. I am gonna have to roll ads, so we will be yapping, but Twitch chat you will be getting sent to ads. If you don't want to have ads, subscribe to the LBL. I promise we're not gonna take your money. Um, I'm sorry for the fat loss pill ads, but they do need to be rolled. Rengar is my kitty roar. Perhaps, take some information from them. Reflect. But yeah. But um back to the draft. I like isopods a bit more. I don't know why, but I do. Even though they have like a poppy jungle, which I haven't seen have that many success.
mhm.
I haven't really seen that. Well, you could say the same. Even though Isopod Island has a lot of tanks, and like their carries are very well protected, if their carries die, what do you do then?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. It's like a lot of pressure on Prize, who, like, to be fair, I think was probably, like, unbiasedly probably like top 3, maybe 4
Mm-hmm.
80 carry. Like, it was a pretty good pool last
Agreed.
season with there was like 8280. There was why is my memory already already failing me on last season? There was a handful of really good 80 carries. I think Prize definitely hung with like the best of them. Um, that
Agreed.
being said, it's a lot of pressure when you are pretty much your team's only like you're gonna be the primary threat here, like by far. Like the team's like red side's not trying to dive in on this Anivia first. They're trying to kill this Kaisa and then figure out how to deal with the little Frostbird in the mid lane. Um, as far as the jungle matchup, Kane Kane is really strong right now, but Poppy on its own is a really good answer to Kane. Anytime Kane, like almost all of Kane's abilities, get fucked over by the Poppy W. I've tried playing a couple games of Poppy Jungle recently. It feels not super great. But it's also just like not really my play style. It's pretty should be pretty gank heavy. It should be pretty like skip camps and like make shit happen. And so I'm interested to see if the Poppy Anivia tech has been practiced, because again, in theory, it's super easy. Throw up a wall, pin them up against it, do all their health. But
Okay.
that's one of those picks that like people talk about like trolling in the bot lane together. Like I don't think I've ever actually seen it as like a jungle mid. So I'm curious to see how that one gets played.
I don't think I have either. And Rengar is my kitty roar. Thank you for the subscription. I guess those fat loss ads worked. Thank you for the sub. Didn't mean to cut you off there last. Yeah, I think it's really easy for them to screw up the Anivia Poppy duo in the mid jungle. There is no alcove, so it's a bit harder to kind of like pin somebody against the wall. And vice versa, like if Clove does like throw up a wall and somehow locks Cy William on the other side of the wall into tower, it could be really disastrous because you do have the Talia E with the Talia W, so it could be really bad if they have not executed this already.
And I do. I feel like Talia is probably a good answer to like deny this play coming out from Poppy. You know, you throw down the rocks or whatever.
Mhm.
Like it's gonna be hard for Poppy to actually get the other stun against the wall off, at
Yeah.
least in the lane phase. You know, once you get to like team fights and like everything's going crazy, that's like a different discussion. Looking like we're hopping onto the rift in a second, trying to see if there's anything interesting with runes or summoners. I see phase rush on the Alistar. That is, it's bold.
Wait a bit.
Sometimes it looks really good.
Ah,
Sometimes it looks really bad. There's really no in between. As
the stream
looks like with
looks
that we're
scuffed.
hopping on. It looks scuffed. Don't love
Why?
to hear that.
Why is the stream scuffed? Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm seeing it's the yeah weird little box size.
Yeah, I'm not sure who did that. Vacant.
Oh
But you know
true.
what?
Did the
It'll be
yeah.
okay. I have fixed it.
Mm,
Don't nobody sue me, please.
maybe should have taken his spot. Anyway, out onto the rift for game number one. We see interesting little level one coming out from Isopod Island. They got the 3-man in this mid brush, 2 people up on the top side, maybe looking to collapse on somebody. Again, Braum has a pretty good invade. I don't know how this trio necessarily works together, trying to get the passive stacks off. Cleanse coming through for the Kaisa. That's interesting.
Bit interesting, actually. I don't know
Not
why.
don't really see that much value coming out of it. You know, if
At
Alistar's
all.
on you with one, he's getting all the CC off. Talia, like, I mean, I guess the Talia rocks, but I don't know. I'm not gonna trust Prize again. Prize did a fair bit of carrying last season for PK. That's my guy, so I'm gonna trust. We're just
Agreed.
gonna see. We're gonna see. Looking like our jungler is starting on opposite sides here. Um, Kane, definitely someone who likes to invade, looking to maybe do like a raptor into the enemy blue is something that Zeph could certainly look to do. And again, as that like D1 master level jungler, I wouldn't be surprised if you see that.
Yeah, agreed. I was gonna say it before. I think Zeph really wants to kind of build a lead for himself here on this Kane. I think he'll make the game a lot easier if he does. Really nice here there by Clove. And this is why I hate Anivia.
Yeah,
One ability,
it's
man. One ability.
one ability really outplayed Papa Doge for sure. But Papa Doge again, as a Nivea player, no room to really complain.
True. Very
And on
true.
the giving end of that, many a time. As nothing too interesting happening here early. Kane opting to just kind of go for the clear. Their clear should be slightly faster than the Poppy. But it's hard to say for sure. As Zero Cola getting off these Qs, getting the damage off. Gonna just force him off the wave here. Gonna get popped away by Alistar. Just kind of taking our trip across the rift.
Really nice Q through there by Orf. Nice little grass stack. Getting a bit of a good trade there. Looks like
Love
they
to see the
somehow
grass coming off.
stalled Kane. They're pinging Kane. I'm assuming that's just jungle tracking.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Kane almost always wants to start on those Raptors. Get those to reset pretty much as quick as possible. So just good tracking there from Cy William. Knowing likely where the Kane is. Now, of course, there is that trap of if you constantly ping where the enemy jungler should be, your team could like fall into a little bit of a trap if they go for something a little tricky. That being said, they know Kane's down here. Poppy's on the top side. Probably not a huge gank opportunity onto K-Pack. But if they ever waste their E, I guess it's possible.
Yeah, very doable. I do think though the early game Cassante was not gonna offer you too much damage, so if anything, leaving your Cassante there to just kind of farm against Gnar, which he is doing really well on the side of Porphyr, considering your melee into Gnar. I think Porphyr's doing a really good job at catching CS here. It looks like he's having a really good trade too.
Yeah, he's gonna get a solid trade off there. No Q3, but does not matter too much. Junglers on their respective scuttles, and we'll see if Zeph looks to make anything happen here. Trying to get that reset off. Poppy could look to steal away these Raptors if they know they're coming up. But looks like they may be looking for a little bit of a play on Papa Doge by the direct cam as Q3 is going to connect onto K-Pack. Solid damage. Now just going to get a reset.
Papa Doge has no
Cancel
mana.
the reset. Clove is, yeah. Clove is fighting hard here. Papa Doge going to try and get the kill. Going to flick them back in, but they have enough mana to get the damage off. Papa Doge in a lot of trouble. Gonna have to flash out, but they do live.
Yeah, that was a really nice bet there by Clove, just kind of, you know, giving the little Anivia at their auto attacks.
And now we're to a 2v2 in the bot side. Actually going to be a lot of damage there onto the Alistar. They're going to continue to fight. Prize actually gets hit up there by the Cleanse. Barrier gets forced out there by by Xayah, and now the fight is continuing. William is sprinting down here, has not reset just yet, and they are on vision though, so they're gonna have to make this play quick if they're going to make it happen, and there is no dice.
Yeah, and for the sake of clarity, we are just gonna call Plut XMXXN Thigh High because that is Thigh High Croc.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna ease everybody's mind here because there is no way in hell I'm pronouncing Plut MX. I'm having a stroke reading it. So that is Thigh High Croc.
You almost had it.
No, I really didn't. You should have seen my face. Yeah. But yeah, this line's kind of going differently than I expected it to. Like you said, Prize is one of those 80 carries who I know. Oh.
As Alex are just gonna go in for a solid trade. Actually get a lot of damage off on the Zero Cole, who does have the E, gonna pop the W as well. Will be able to walk it out. Should be alright.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. I really didn't expect for the side of THOC here to be this aggressive into Prize and Zero Cola. I know Prize is kind of like this aggressive player, even on like scalers. He kind of tries to like win lane, kind of hands diff, but it looks like Thigh High is really kind of showing what's up.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of early range advantage from the Xayah is really all I can think of to attribute that. Is actually Zero Cola is low and is going in here, gonna take again a lot of damage, but should just be fine with the E. Gonna have to be careful though, as one more of those, and they will probably be donating first blood over to the THOC bot lane as they're getting their resets off.
Yeah. Also for more clarification, she. Oh my goodness, what is wrong with me? Alistar is.
Chisaya?
Yeah, Chisaya is Ammo in the Discord, in the LBL Discord. He is currently subbing in for THOC. The support could not make it, so that is also another player. That's on that.
Yeah,
team
we're for sure gonna go. You said Ammo?
Ammo.
Ammo.
Yeah, something like that. Hey, listen, Ammo or Alistar? That's what he's gonna.
I mean that's fine by me. Makes my life easy. Nard going in, good, unstoppable. Not gonna use the R there just yet. And now we see this again, just this trade. I mean, so much outplay potential for Papa Doge on this Talia.
I think it's fair, everybody.
You know, this is. I'm enjoying this for sure. As William gonna get collapsed on here, gonna not. They use the smite. It didn't come through quite on time, but they still get the scuttle, so they do get to level 6. Dragon was picked up during our yapping about players' names by the side of THOC. Ocean Dragon, probably my favorite like single dragon to get, just because it really helps with like, not so much for me, but you know, for my laners, they get that regen, they get to stick on lane a little more aggressively. Which means I don't have to pay as much attention to my laners, so it's kind of a win-win for everybody.
That's what I want to hear from my jungler.
Well, okay.
Well.
Maybe it's like bad phrasing for sure. We see
Yeah.
William again coming down here on the bot side, but again the vision control by THOC is just making towards William doesn't really have any plays, and yeah, they're up in the CS department, but I mean on Poppy it's not necessarily that big of an advantage, you know, have a camp up on the Kayn.
Yeah, I think. For the side of THOC here, like Chisaya here is playing really, really well on tracking where William will end up, and they know that in order for them to just outscale and just win this game, they need to not give William the opportunities to kind of pick out their laners. And I think they're doing really well with playing around the vision here.
Now, Grubs are on the table now. It's again just back to this mid lane. Papa Doge and Clove trading pretty heavily. They do not have they have the egg passive, and now we're back to the bot side. Again, another 2v2 trade. I feel like every time we're looking down here, it's Alistar going in. Prize getting relatively chunked out here, but the Braum can cut some blows. R stack and Zero Cola has to be careful here, though. Has to try and W out, but he's going to get headbutted out away from the team. No flash utilized. First blood over to Thigh High on this Xayah.
Yeah, kind of not the way that I was expecting this bot lane to go, but like Chisaya has been playing it really well. As well as Thigh High. I think they've been playing this bot lane really bloody, but also really well. They know when they should be taking trades. They've been taking advantage, how powerful their trade advantage is when Braum is low health. And I really like the way that they're playing this bot lane.
Yeah, the Alistar is playing aggressive into the Braum. Of course, one-on-one, you know, I feel like I prefer the Braum into the Alistar matchup, but Amo is playing aggressive, playing with no fear, and with that phase rush, I think it's working out super well so far. On that top side, we do see that Zeph was able to take away one of the grubs, but the other two went over to Isopod, so no little grubbies spawning up this game, and that means no progress on the on the feet either are going to come through on the Braum immediately. Prize running up here. Zaya going to pull back the feathers, not going to get onto the kites, but it is going to get onto the Braum, is going to fall here. Flash in from Prize, looking to get a trade kill in response. Do they have the damage? Yes, they do. Thigh High is here. Thigh High is down. Zeph is running down, but with the wave under tower, I don't think there's a play on the Prize. 2-1 goes your kill count, but Humbo is going in, and maybe Prize will fall here. Flash in from Zeph, taking up the tower, is eventually going to get... Oh, no. Slight misplay from Zeph. They thought they were dead, but Prize is going to be able to get out with no HP.
98 health. Clutch pots. I mean,
yeah,
I like the look. I'm a bit unlucky that they couldn't finish Kess off there.
And now we've got an ult coming out from the Cassante, going unstoppable onto the Gnar. Not going to have the damage to kill necessarily, but they look like they're just going to maybe try and get this wave in. Maybe actually setting up a dive here potentially for Cy William, looking to make something happen onto the Gnar. Does not have Mega. Cy William looking for the pin against the tower, going to force out the flash. Follows flash by a K-Pack, and Cy William is able to pick up that kill. 2-2 goes to kill count. No flash, no ult on the Kane, but no abilities on the other side as well. Zeph going to be able to pick up that kill, and it's going to be the Feats of Warfare over to the side of THOC, and Porf is on the wrong side of the rift now in a 1v2. Not looking super good. Unstoppable, going to get some solid damage off. Maybe has enough to kill Zeph. No, they will not. 2-0 now is this Kane. 4-2 is your kill count.
Yeah, I mean, Zeph kind of pivoting, like a bit of a bad moment for sure bot lane. Unlucky on that Kai'Sa kill, but just pivoting straight top lane and getting that double kill, really putting back in that game.
Yeah, now heavy trading again on this bot side. Zero Cola dashes in front, but going to take up a lot of damage here. Prize, though, getting it back off onto Amo. So, pretty aggressive game here in just the last couple of minutes, I feel like. Kind of out of nowhere.
And I really like what Papa Doge is doing here. Olivia is not allowed back in the lane.
But Papa Doge might be paying for it with their life. They are going to fight to the death here, forcing out the flash out of the Anivia R. Anivia, if they have the CDs, should be able to pick up the kill, but the egg is going to get popped here. And Papa Doge...
I don't think you do enough damage, Papa Doge.
Yeah, I don't think you win this.
Oh, no, run away!
And the flash in from Clove, and that's going to be a traded kill. Oh, somebody...
I spoke too soon.
11:25 on the VOD review for sure, Papa Doge.
I liked what he was trying to do, not allowing Anivia back into the lane. Unfortunately, Anivia's a bit of an annoying champion. So she got her mana back from that egg revive.
Yeah.
In my opinion, shouldn't be a thing, but you know, what do I know?
What do you know? What I know is that Hextech Drag picked up by the side of Isopod. So despite the kills kind of going in favor of THOC here so far, gold is pretty much evened up, and they're even on the drags. Relatively even game state, I feel like.
Yeah, super even. I mean, they're literally dead even right now in terms of gold. No side looks like clear winners. I've seen mid lane going a little south, but Papa Doge not too far behind Clove. I wouldn't worry too much about that kill right there. Zeph has kind of been around the map as much as we would want him to be. Cy William trying to look for these like plays that a Pape would want to, but Zeph kind of, you know, doing what he can. We saw that double kill top lane, really put him back on the map after that failed dive bot lane. But besides the point, I really like how the side of THOC is playing this bot lane here. Zaya already has like a 500 gold advantage over Kai'Sa here, despite the rank difference. So I really like the way that they're playing on the bot side of the map here.
Yeah, Headbutt going to knock away Zero Coal there. And talking about rank differences, chat kind of mentioning as well, K-Pack. Actually, I might have to hold that thought. Is Zeph going to hit up the W, and Prize is just going to drop. Actually, they have to pop the cleanse, but with the Alistar, there's no outplay here for Prize. Will fall here eventually, and will Zero Coal be the next to follow? Tower is being tanked up there by Amo on this Alistar. Goes down to about half HP. We do see Cassante coming with the teleport. Porf is not going to get here in time, though. Double kill over to Zeph, who is now 4-0, and Porf is now here at half HP. I don't know if you necessarily want to look for a fight, but they might actually just fall under the tower. No, gonna be up just fine.
Yeah, I think Porf needs to recall here. You are Cassante, but you are still diveable. It's a Kane with an Alistar who is more than welcome to sacrifice their life. But it looks like Cy Williams reading it out. He's here to protect the dive. I will say, a bit of an egregious teleport. I think by the time your teleport, since it is not completed, is like the play's over. So I'm not sure what Porf was looking for there, but.
Yeah, I mean, trying to bail out their team. You know, they see the play coming in the bot side, but the problem with the new teleport is
You're
you
slow.
can't teleport to the play. You have to teleport before the play.
Yep.
And by the time Porf's able to get there, the ship had already sailed. Your teammates are carcasses on the ground, and that leads to the first real goal lead of the game. You're at 14 minutes. Plates are down. It's about 1,500. Dragon is coming up in a couple minutes. Of course, next time it pans over by the pit, we'll see what we've got. As actually Zeph might be looking onto Clove here. It's gonna be a cloud, which would be really good for I feel like the side of red side. Zeph gonna have to get out over the wall, just getting a little bit of damage off. Gonna trade into Zero Cola and a 2v3 though, playing a little bit too aggressive here. Gets hit up by the seismic shove, is super low, and Zeph flashes out, goes into the R, trying to do the healing that they can. Maybe over the wall here. Flash from side William, gonna try and get this shutdown, and it is gonna be a kill, but it is traded back by Papa Doge onto this Braum on the other side of the map. And now K-Pack is here as well, trying to run down Prize, who does have flash. It is a 2v3 Papa Doge, forces out the flash from Prize. K-Pack trying to get those stacks up, not able to hit off the seismic shove onto this Poppy. Gonna run out with the W, gonna try and get out best they can. Now that's the Weaver's wall coming in, going to get pinned up against the wall by Talia, or by Poppy is the Talia. And now Alpo gonna flash over, hit the headbutt, hit the pulverize, and give over the kill to the Gnar. 4-8 goes your kill count.
Yeah, that was really nice look there by the side of THOC, or not THOC. I'm sorry, Isopod, punching out Kane there with the really big bounty. That kind of put William back into the game. Unfortunately, they lost, I believe, 2 members there, but Prize did escape with his life. So I think overall, a decent play for THOC. But unfortunately, they do leave the Rift Herald, which sucks for Isopod. They did get the bounty, but they also lose the Rift Herald.
Yeah, and now Zero Cola again just gonna get forcing out the flash, but they still might drop here. Has to pop the R here in response. Prize trying to do the damage they can, but that's not a side shove onto Prize, who has no flash, has no R, has to try and get out, but they're just gonna fall in the end anyway. Massive play there from Papa Doge. And now they're just pressuring on this mid lane turret as Dragon is up in just a few seconds.
Let me fix that. Sorry, I did not know. They could not see summoner spells. My fault. Still low budget after all.
Yeah, it's Vacant's fault, right?
It's completely vacant. Thinking this is your last time observing ever.
Blue turret gets destroyed there in the mid lane. So that should actually just be the feats over to the side of THOC. Clove maybe getting caught out here in a 1v2. Papa Doge and Clove are fighting it out. Seismic flip is going to connect. Amo is here. Egg is going to get popped. There's no reinforcements, and that should be a dead Anivia followed into a Dragon for the side of THOC. And that, actually, I'll hold that thought on the top side. Is now the counterplay. K-Pack just gets deleted by Porf and by Cy William, who picks up the kill, getting their 3rd kill on this Poppy.
Yeah, I mean, well played there by Isopod. Unfortunately, your Anivia is caught out, and unfortunately, that is one of your damage dealers. So just kind of looking for...
What a play there from Amo. Forces Zero Coal into the pit, trying to get the vision. No way out here for the Braum. Just going to fall here eventually. Donate it over to Thigh High. Top tower is taken on the top side, but this bot tower is getting wailed on by this Talia.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Amo is like playing out of his mind this series, or it's first game, but like this game, he's just every time I pan over to Alistar, something crazy is going on, and it's a good kind of crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was good use of the Hex Flash, able to knock the Braum in, who was just trying to do their job as a support, right? They wanted to get the vision for their Poppy. And speaking of Poppy, running down here into a bit of a tough numbers fight. Prize already going to take a lot of HP, and it is a 3v4 here in the mid lane. Can Cy William get off a good R? No, they cannot because of the size of shove. Cy William is caught out by themselves. Do not have the flash. Going to try and sprint this out. Actually going to force out the flash from the Xayah, who's going to try and get the kill. It is going to be traded over by Clove, who does not have the egg, so they should fall here as well. Gets the flash output immediately into the Kane knockout. Double kill here for Papa Doge, and it looks like Zero Cola will be the 3rd to fall. Eventually here, triple kill here for Papa Doge, and things are looking very good for the side of THOC.
Yeah, well played there by Taha, just to kind of like keep the enemy team interested in him long enough for the rest of his team to clean up. They're not even done.
Getting to go. That's an unofficial,
Quadra.
Not an unofficial penta. Wow. Unofficial quadra. Papa Doge could not finish the job, but that is going to be an ace for the side of THOC. This mid lane tower is going to get crushed. It is a really early inhibitor that they are going to go for. We'll have to see if that ends up being the right call, but still really good stuff here for THOC in their debut this season.
Yeah, I gotta say, I really like the mid jungle here from the side of THOC. They're playing really well. They're playing really organized. I'm not sure if you caught it, but Papa Doge did expend the flash there, but to get like a really, really stellar EW on the entire side of Isopod Island. So really well played by Papa Doge this game. The Talia is looking really strong. Definitely not my Talia.
Well, you can't be like
No, we
great
can't
at
sugarcoat
everything, right?
we can't sugarcoat it. My Talia's
Well, no, well that's what I'm saying. It's like, well, it's like, I mean, you know, can't be great at like every champ, you know.
Mhm.
It's you know, it's
Yeah.
like your Talia, it's like you know, like my like Rengar or any cringe 80 jungler. Looks like, yeah, I mean, Zeph has played really well. Papa Doge playing really well, despite the little bit of goofs that we did see. You know, that
Yeah.
mid lane play they should for sure re-roll that one over and over. Adicon gonna get spawned up here. Not really any answer for the side of Isopod Island, so they are just gonna give it up. Taking away the red buff is the smallest of consolation prizes for sure.
Yeah.
As this gold lead up to about 5-ish K. Now, one thing I do
Thornbound
think,
Otacon is gonna make this so much harder now because they just got every single petal.
yeah, and in a bloody game, Clove, I mean, you just saw them take the Adicon. You know they're around. Do you care? Doesn't look like Direct-to-Cam wants us to see. Actually, we got fights on both sides of the map. THOC might actually, or Thigh High might fall here. Not going to. Zeph is gonna be able to pick up that kill. Now Braum caught on the wrong side of the wall, into the shove, into the Alistar combo. Double kill over to Zeph, and K-Pack was able to get out on the top side.
That was so good. That was so well played, so well played. I'm not sure how K-Pack survived there, but him not dying is actually so good for the side of THOC.
Yeah. Not able to trade over. I mean, they are able to get the tier 2 top, but you're getting the tier 2 bot, so it's not really a trade in the end. Cy Williams is down here trying to deny them somehow. Again, Papa Doge is hitting these flicks. Gonna use the W on the Alistar, is going to push them under the tower, but they are so tanky with that R. They're just gonna be able to eat it up. Kane going in by themselves. This is for sure, has to be a one-way trip here. Brahmar is going to connect. They are eventually gonna get stunned up here, but the wall actually may have zoned off their tanks. Oh, wait. Okay. They are eventually going to get the kill onto Zeph. I thought Clove was doing their best to try and keep their team from getting it. And now Papa Doge does not have a flash. Can they get chased down here? Zero Cola is wailing on him with these auto seismic shove. Going to flick back the Braum. But that wall does not stop them. Cassante going over the wall. Give it over to this Anivia, who all of a sudden just picked up 1,000 gold shutdown. And that may have been a bit of a goof coming out from the side of THOC.
Being honest, that is the biggest skip you could ever do. Learn from experience. Anivia has a inhibitor wave pushing into them. I'm not sure why she's splitting bot. I feel like if you're Anivia here, you are pinging that you want to just collect mid waves. Anivia's really great at anti-siege. She can just clear that wave no problem. I think if you're Anivia here, your team not soul way back into the game, but you are the strongest way back into the game. Especially after claiming that 1,000 gold shutdown. I think Anivia wants to just be in these mid waves. She wants to just collect the super minions that are shoving into their base. I think that's the only way that Isopod Island can make it back into this game.
Yeah, Dragon is now up, and I would assume that if you are Isopod, you are just gonna give this one over. It isn't the soul.
Yeah.
You were able to get that Hex Tech, so it does buy you, 5 minutes here for prize to kind of collect in this mid lane, get these inhibitor minions, work towards that, second item.
Prize is going the crit build here, which I don't love into a team of 4 really beefy characters. I do think the on-hit build would have been a bit better, but what do I know? I'm not an 80k player.
I mean, I heard you were playing ADC on Friday. Seemed like you were doing all right.
I have one comment. Season 2, LBL, Game 1.
Yeah, I heard you guys got 3-0'd. Anyway, Dragon taken up by THOC. Again, game is kind of fully in their control at the moment, but if they have another screw up like they just had, if this Alistar gets caught out, gives over that shutdown, if Kane gets caught out with no flash, there's definitely opportunities for Isopod Island to win a fight and kind of get back into this game. Baron is up in about a minute. We see the IE is now completed for prize on this Kaisa. Porf maybe going to get caught out here a little bit. Is in a 1v3. They are Cassante. Going to use the W a little early. So are actually going to have to use their ultimate to get away from the Alistar. And that does mean the top tier 1 goes down.
Yeah, really nice users of the all out there just to kind of get on the other side. But I think Braum is a little...
Zero trying to clear out the vision, and they're going to die for it. Not even able to get their R off in time. A lot of damage here actually onto Zeph, who now is going into the Poppy. Gonna jack back over the wall now. Porf tries to flash in onto Papa Doge, who is going to use their flash as well. Shielding not going to be enough here. Kill picked up by Papa Doge, and that should be this top 2-2 fallen as well.
Yeah, the fight looked a little good there for Isopod Island, but unfortunately a little too far behind. You guys are getting wallet diffed at the moment, but you do have an Anivia. Oh.
Clove going to take up a lot of damage. Flash in there from the Alistar, going to stun him up, try to donate the kill over. Shove is barely going to connect. Who is ending up picking up this one? Prize trying to snipe out Papa Doge, but it's going to be Thigh High picking up the kill, up to 5-2 on the Xayah.
Yeah, bit unfortunate. I think I understand the desperation play. I understand Clove kind of wants to, you know, maybe get like a bit of a kill to kind of claw their way back into the game, but I just think you're really far behind. The side of THOC is really, really strong right now. I think you have to play a bit more preserved, like just a bit more back reserved. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this Xayah, or this Taliyah is not going to be really hard to kill with that fully completed Zanyas and the Seraphs. Super annoying for sure.
Yeah.
Thigh High on 3 items, working to just gobble up the camps of their jungler. Even this Kayn, just super kind of just annoying ability to get out. I mean, we're talking about the red Kayn into these triple tanks. We are going to see the Baron started up here by the side of THOC, and there's really no counterplay for Isopod Island. I mean, Poppy's running out here, but this Baron's going to be gone before you even have an opportunity. Just going to pick up the Wolves, and they're going to have to try and fight Soul, I think, with Baron on the table. Or online, I guess I should say.
Yeah, I mean, the carries on the side of THOC are playing really well, but I also want to commentate on this Alistar. Amo has been playing so well on this Alistar. I think like they've just been picking the right moments to go in and pick out the right targets. I think this series is going so well because of the performance on the Alistar.
Yeah, for sure really nice is knockouts. Playing out of their mind on the Alistar. 0017 has that Mikhails as well. Maybe to bail out their Xayah, bail out their Taliyah, who are just pushing up in this mid lane, in this top lane. They're working to try and just close out game number 1 very cleanly. They're going to work on this mid inhibitor. Bot lane, that wave is a Narnia, so probably not going to see anybody moving down there.
Yeah.
Mid lane inhibitor has fallen, and probably going to look to continue pressure on this top side, I would imagine. They are going to be able to pick up the inhibitor, so slowly but surely that mid wave, or that bot wave will come in. Top now going to get pressured next. Dragon is up in a minute. That would be the Soul. Nearly impossible to deal with if you are triple inhibitor, which the side of Isopod Island will be, but they might not even play for the Dragon. They might just play to end the game here.
I think if I'm the side of THOC, I'm just playing for end. I had Baron minions into triple inhib down. I'm just shoving. I honestly think even if they tower dive here, they could take the fight.
Yeah, Taliyah gonna use the Weaver's Wall, not gonna get off onto anything. Alistar goes in, hits up onto 2 members. Prize has to immediately flash cleanse. They're trying to buy as much time as they can. Zeph goes in onto the K'Sante. Zero Cola is the first to fall here. Zeph is in a 1v4 on the backside, but the Nard has to flash out. He's taking up the turret. Zeph is on your prize here on the backside. There's nobody here to peel. Goes in with the R. Is actually going to fall here in the end. Alistar goes in, trying to get the damage off onto Silent that they can. Chloe is super low. Has to try and get out here. Massive flash R there coming out from Thigh High. Is onto Porfu. Is tanky, but is dropping here. Health bars are super low on the side of Thigh High, or on THOC, but it does not matter. Thigh High gets a double kill. Make it a potential triple kill. Not going to get up the kills before this Nexus goes down. Game 1 to the side of THOC.
Yeah, we will play both teams. THOC a bit better, more coordinated. I like the gameplay from both teams, but THOC looked really good out there. And with the post lobby or post game screens, Papa Doge, 36,000, almost 37,000 damage on that Taliyah. Bit of a menace. Not gonna lie.
That was alright.
True. For sure.
Yeah, pretty strong game from the side of THOC. I will say, early game, I mean, we're talking about it like 15 minutes. It was very even for Isopod Island, but it just kind of came down to a couple of plays coming out from the side of THOC. You know, that dive by Zeph. They pick up the 2 kills bot lane. Really was kind of able to accelerate on this Kayn in that mid game spot, because early on, I think chat mentioned at one point there wasn't a whole lot of action coming out from Zeph. And if you're playing Kayn and you're not getting form, what did we pick the Kayn for? But they made chat eat their words, made them eat my thoughts. I didn't vocalize them, but I was thinking it a little bit. But that being said, we're into game 2 now, so they're gonna have to find some new picks, and we'll see what side Isopod Island want to play on.
Yeah, I mean, the Kane early was having a bit of difficulty kind of getting ganks off. Like you said, that early dive on Kaisa wasn't the best. But I really liked how Zeph kind of just didn't let it get to them, just turned it around. Got the double kill top, and I think just really just started snowballing really hard on that Kane, which is you really don't want. Like just fed Red Kane into 3, even 4. Honestly, the Navy was really beefy. Really 4 beefy members on your team, it just spells disaster.
Yeah. But if I'm the side of Isopod Island, and again, we say it a lot, sometimes jokingly, sometimes not jokingly, they just gotta wake the fuck up,
Lock the fuck in.
Mid again, early game was fine. Again, we kind of talked about with their comp. I'm just sorry, I'm looking at your screen. The mid game was where things kind of fell apart. You played this comp that was pretty low damage, and you kind of fell behind, so it's gonna be really tough to play out. I probably just want to see a little bit less tankiness, I think, from the side of Isopod.
I agree. I think Porf can go something a bit not like I know it's Cassante. I know it's a bullshit kit. I know he does damage, but I think on the side of Isopod, I would prefer Porf to be on more of like a bruiser juggernaut type of champion instead of a Cassante. I think if they did not have the Cassante top, maybe he could have, or they could have done a bit more to abuse the Nor, but I think Cassante's laning phase is not as strong enough.
Yeah, and with that, we'll see what side they look to take. Again, I guess as soon as I see the draft link, I will know my answer.
Like THOC is going blue, Isopod's going red. But I will send you the draft link. There's that.
Thank you.
And I will it's to draft scene and
wait.
Then we'll
Okay, there we go.
Draftful. Moving up in the world, they do have a series.
See, I literally like forgot about that. Like as soon as I clicked the link, I'm like, wait, this is the same link, and then I saw the
Oh no, I'm trolling.
up in the top right. No. Oh,
okay, no. The stream won't catch it. Hold on, let me just.
Oh.
No, slight troll. Not big one.
That's like minor for sure. Probably not worth. Can't be stressing over. No, draft law. I mean, it only took him a decade to
literally
have some type of ingenuity.
I am being told it was swapped wrong.
Interesting.
Okay, so it looks like Isopod is blue. Makes my life really easy.
Yep, that's always the best when you're the one that has to run the stream and the sides don't switch. It just makes life easy.
It really does.
Don't gotta do anything.
Oh. There's a new draft flow. One moment. I will send you the new one. And I will have to do the new one. Because we don't gotta run a draft flow.
I mean, to be fair, draft lull is a pretty. I'm not the biggest fan. It's pretty outdated. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of people are trying to enter the draft tool game. Pro draft is even worse. I don't know if you've ever had the misfortune of using Apex Esports. That might actually be the worst site I've ever seen. It is.
I've not.
Absolutely horrendous. Don't recommend. Like I'd probably rather die for sure. So draft lull is what we have. Isopod Island seem ready to go for game number 1. They've hit ready. So yeah, you were talking about maybe want to see like a bruisery kind of carry ish option come out for Porf, who again, shout out to K-Pack, beloved former Twilight Zone member. Held their own into a D1 top laner. They didn't really let the Cassante run over the game at all. So we'll have to see what adaptation he looks to have. Is there anything else particularly we're looking for, or do you feel like the rest of the pieces were okay?
I think I'm fine with Cyber. I think Cybelium is more of a tank jungler player anyway. I don't know. I don't love Poppy. Sure, it's an annoying champion, but I don't think it's something that should be prio picked for the jungle. I think that maybe if they want to go a tank jungler, the Sejuani was open last game. I don't know how that would look for Cybelium, but I would like it over the Poppy. I think Poppy doesn't have as many uses as the Sejuani would. Especially when it's like a Kayn. Like Kayn can kind of wait out your W with kind of sitting in the wall. He doesn't really have a dash, nor has his E, but like if you're using your W for the Nor dash, then there are more issues. But I don't know. I think gifting prize a scaler, like a really, really hyper scaler also as well is fine. Especially if you're like you have that many tanks on the side of Isopod Island. I just think that Kai'Sa kind of just couldn't do as much because she didn't have the range to back up the damage. Her Kai'Sa scales, but the range just isn't far enough for her to do anything into a Talia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Chat asking for two master casters to build the perfect lineup. Unfortunately, that's not us anymore. We have fallen on some hard times for sure. Bands coming back out here. Or into draft number 2. I need to see if the bands are. Looks like they're relatively the same. Jarvan actually gonna be taken off the table instead of the Rel. For Isopod. So curious what that is signifying.
Mm-hmm.
The Shen was left up by THOC, and the Shen immediately going to be locked in here for blue side.
Now, is that going top or support?
I would hope. Okay, well, so we were talking about Porf. Want to be on more of a carry oriented top laner. I don't think Shen is that, but at the same time, I think Shen support pick 1 is probably pretty troll. So
Agreed.
I guess
Agreed.
we'll have to hold on and see where that goes. Volibear gonna be picked up there for THOC. Hopefully in the jungle so that I can judge incredibly hard.
Or Less Force Gaming.
The Less Force Gaming and Mordekaiser gonna be the pickup. I for sure don't want to see Shen top now. maybe
I
send
really
a
don't.
jungle. Maybe
just send it anywhere else.
yeah, literally anywhere else.
Although
That sounds like a miserable matchup.
actually no, it could be Volibear top and Mordekaiser jungle. Who knows?
I mean, it could be. Should? Not sure.
Maybe not. Oh my god, another Anivia. Oh, how lovely. Oh, and Zeri, that's definitely a prize pick.
That is for sure a prize pick. Played really well on it. We'll see. I mean, it pairs well. I mean, with the Shen over the top. Shen support, I low-key think could be okay for Zeri. Again, I think just more than anything, I just don't want to see Shen into Mordekaiser, for they will be wailed on into oblivion. Lucian gonna be the answer though into the Zeri.
That's really scary. I think the Lucian needs to bully Zeri out of lane, otherwise his game is severely unplayable compared to Zeri. I think Zeri will just outscale Lucian, and after that threshold happens, Lucian just will not have any use. Another thing that scares me is that the side of THOC is super low ranged into Zeri. But I guess I have a Mordekaiser who can just be like, no you. Or just send her away.
It's true. Mord is the best champion at saying F you. Doesn't matter how fed you get thrown in the Mordekaiser R, you are doing a whole lot of nothing. Skarner again gonna get taken off the table. Nami again, Lucian Nami super
Oppressive, yeah.
super aggressive, super what's what I'm looking for, like staple bot lane pairing. Lulu gonna be taken away, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see Emilio come out. Yeah. Again, those are kind of like the two signature picks you think of with Lucian. Now your mind goes to like, I don't know, Braum. It could be like an engage. It is potentially gonna be the Rel. It's okay.
All right.
Very, very beefy on the side of THOC here. And
Any Vayne toppers?
any Vayne toppers? Probably not, right? But like, what if? What
But,
I
like,
want to see is it gonna be the Nefiri? That is probably in the mid lane for Papa Doge. I do know they have the Nefiri in the bag a little bit. They played, I think they played it week 1 in the Blue Otter League, and they popped off on it. Don't really see where else it would be going. um, so they're saving the support pick for counter. Gonna be a Karma pickup potentially for Zero Cola. And then you've got the B5 jungle. How did how did Cy William end up here? Must be nice.
I'm not sure. Unless it's Shen jungle. Any junglers?
Yeah, it's for sure something you can lock.
Should you lock it? No.
Should no, probably not. Um, I don't know. They kind of need like some pretty heavy damage. I mean, like the Lilia. I know Cy William plays that. I think that would be pretty solid. But
Uh-huh.
they're gonna go the Maokai and try and frontline for the Zeri for the Anivia.
I'm not sure I love the Maokai here. I don't. I think when Mordekaiser ults your Zeri, because you know he is, who is doing damage in that team fight while Zeri is locked out of it? Because Clove
That is
can't.
the question.
The Clove cannot do anything until Volibear, Nefiri, Rel, Lucian.
Mhm.
But we'll just get ran down here on the Anivia.
Yeah. And the Rel is gonna be picked up there on 5 for Amo, who we saw have a really good Alistar game. Yeah, I for sure. And again, this isn't just the less for Lilia love. I do think that because we've seen Cy William play before, they had good games on it last season. It is for sure a really good matchup into the Volibear. And you look at the other champions on the board there. You've got a Mordekaiser, you've got a Rel, you've got these really like big health stackers that you can stack your passive on super easily, deal a ton of damage, you heal up. Like this looks like a really good Lilia game. You've got the Shen potential front line, you've got the Anivia for zone control. I would have preferred that for sure. Although I respect trying to frontline for your team. Feeling like you need to enable Prize, enable Clove. But yeah, I feel like it's an uphill battle for the side of Isopod Island for sure.
I agree. I think the Fairy, I already foresee the mid lane. I think the Fairy will just... Clove needs to be very, very careful. Neferi can wreak havoc on the entire side of Isopod Island if she gets the tiniest bit of ahead. I think it's really easy for Neferi to approach this lane just because of the W, the invulnerability towards Anivia's Q. I think Papa Doge has a lot of room to pop off this game. It's probably the player that you want to pop off this game just because I think Lucian getting fed here. It's really hard to play the actual game for Lucian here into Anivia, Zeri, Shen, Karma, and Maokai. Because the wrongest misstep and you're just rooted by Maokai, you're stunned by Anivia, and you're just popped. I think Neferi has a lot more breathing room, so I do think that's who Volibear should be playing for.
Yeah, I would agree. And I feel like now with that said, again, as a bit of a Volibear expert as of late, I will say not the most fun comp for Volibear to play into. Anivia, very very easy to deal with a Volibear gank attempt. It's pretty telegraphed for sure. Can in fact just put up a wall or put up the stun. Zeri can kind of just E out, make life tough. And you know, Shen, a Maokai. Personally, I would like to see Volibear kind of go the lethal tempo. The lethal tempo here. Like if you can get at least 2, big beefy guys on the other side. Is someone is screwed up.
Oh.
Well, yeah. Hopefully they're not reusing the same one. I couldn't imagine using the same tournament code multiple times.
I'm just making sure we've had so many issues with tournament codes in like the first 2 weeks of the LVO.
Yeah, I mean it's for sure. Difficult. Coming in from last season where it was just custom. Blind pick.
Yeah.
Getting people on board with tournament codes, especially if they're not familiar with the comp scene. Like haven't had to play with them before. It is a little bit of an adjustment. But it is cool. Pretty cool stats and stuff like that over on the Summit website. I actually didn't know about the Strand score or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Keeping track of your stats and like how well you perform. Pretty cool stuff if you are a player and you haven't checked it out. I mean, I'm not shamelessly plugging like Dynamic, but objectively, it was pretty cool to look at. Now they're back out into the pick band, so we got a couple minutes here.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, The volley, you've got the Shen, you've got the Maokai. I think I'm trying to play for lethal. I think I am probably going the more AP build because you've got Nefiri, you got Lucian on your AD, and you kind of just fill whichever box you have to on volley if it's like 2/2 damage spread. I think like a Cosmic into Navori would look pretty good here. I think you go like Cosmic into Iceborne if you're not feeling super great in the game. You just kind of play that Q stun bot role. A lot of options for volley, which is part of why I think he's so strong in the jungle and why I still don't get why people aren't playing it. Like I know it's like not the most exciting, but you can do anything and you can run over games. So I like to pick a lot. Just maybe not in this game for sure.
Yeah, I think too many factors to just kind of just stop you right in your place. Either you're gonna end up ulting prematurely just to get rid of all the CC, and just to end up actually on top of them. But even if you do that, I think the side of Isopod just has way too many like get out of there tools. I think the Shen Taunt, the Maokai W, the Maokai Ult, the Anivia entire kit, Zeri's whole kit, Karma E. I just think it's too much for Volibear to catch up into. But we'll see how Zeph plays it.
That being said, Zeph could be a bit of a martyr this game, right? Because you look at this Mordekaiser, Mord's probably Ring the whether it's Anivia or Zeri, every fight, like it's gonna be one of those two. Really, all Zeph has to do is get in one single Q on this Zeri or the Anivia, whichever one's not in the Mordar, set up the Nefiri, set up the Rel, that other person's gonna die, and then you got two tanks and a Karma. So it should be, again, it's not gonna be the most flashy Volibear performance, I can't imagine. But a job done is a job done, as now we're entering the spectator delay, so got 3 minutes on that.
Yeah, and while we're waiting for that spectator delay to be up, we're gonna roll ahead and roll some ads. Of course, I am super sorry. If you don't want to see the ads, subscribe. And Dyslexic fucking called it. Yeah, you sure did. You're sub, so you're immune. Good job. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Volibear just needs to just send it. Just obviously make sure to send it when your team is there. You have a job. Score lines in this case don't matter. I think if you're the Volibear here, I think you're really just trying to accelerate this or to get this Nefarian solution into the fight and clean up the fight. Granted, I do think Volibear can go crazy. There's a Maokai, there's a Shen. Obviously, the Shen Q, W, whichever ability it is, blocks auto attacks. But I do think there's still room for him to go crazy here on the Volibear, especially without the threat of the other carry on the side of Isopod Island, stuck in the Mordekaiser role. I think there's potential for Volibear to go crazy here, but I have to agree with you. I think his role here is to just kind of be the initiator in these fights, set up Rel, set up Nefarious, set up Lucian, and just let your team wipe them. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes that Frostborn Gauntlet build path.
Yep, there's definitely a world that Zeph gets to pop off this game, but we'll know by 10 minutes if Zeph is gonna have fun the next like 25 minutes of the game, pretty much. So, and that's kind of the trade-off with Volley. You kind of know pretty early on if it's gonna be your time to shine or not your time to shine. I want to see Maokai. I'd love to see Maokai get their 6 as quick as possible. I know that's like not traditionally what you think of when you see a tank jungle. You're like, oh, like gank my lane, get me ahead. But the difference in like a Maokai gank with the nature, I think it's the Nature's Grasp is what it's called, or the twist, one of them. With the art, it's so much more impactful than if you're just coming in with the QW. And when you don't really have reliable CC coming out from your Karma, in the bot lanes especially, I'd really like to see Maokai have the multiple forms of CC, and then you can layer it with the Karma W, and hopefully get prize ahead, because you probably need prize to get pretty ahead in this game.
Yeah, and just for casting purposes, it is called Nature's Grasp. That is Maokai ult.
Yes.
But yeah,
Nature's
like you
Grasp. I always mix them up. The W and the W and the R.
Hey, listen, I didn't even know. I just called it Maokai ult. I twisted whatever, and now that's Maokai ult.
Look, we'll make a professional caster out of you. Yeah, we got a long season ahead of us.
You can have it. You can have it. I don't want it.
No.
I could be losing my mind in solo queue.
Oh, it's so true. Taking a look at the runes across the board, I'm seeing double electrocute. I'm I don't know if that's the tech on Neferi mid. I mean, not that it, like, not saying that like in a doubting way. It could be. I'm just not 100% sure. Volley did go to lethal, so they are probably indexing in towards that like Cosmic Navori. They are going to try and wail on these tanky top lane or top side members. Barrier coming out for prize here this time. Low-key, maybe feel like something like a Ghost could have been pretty good. You've got so many people you got to run from.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, Ignite on the Shen. Interesting call as well. They are playing
That
aggressive into their lane.
I'm actually happy that Orph took Ignite here. I've seen it a lot on like almost every Shen top I've seen. They've been taking Ignite just for like that early game oppression that Shen provides. I'm happy
Mhm.
Porf took it because they know that they're into K-Pack here. Nothing against like K-Pack, but they know that there's a clear rank differential. So they want to
Yeah.
try to abuse K-Pack in this lane and just get themselves ahead.
As Clove going to take a ton of damage in that trade. Early advantage there to Papa Doge. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think TP. I mean, it's obviously great to have for like team fights and stuff like that. But on Shen in particular, it's kind of redundant. You know, you've
Yeah.
got the Stand United. You can just show up to the fights already, and it's faster than teleport. Anyway.
Yes.
So I kind of like the use of a combat sum, whether it's the Ignite, whether it's the Exhaust. Definitely think it makes a lot of sense as we see junglers starting opposite sides here. Maokai starting up that red while Volibear gonna start the Raptors. So that tells me that they are not looking to gank. They're looking to just full clear nice and early.
It's always good to see from Volibear there. I think he knows that like he has no way to touch this Anivia. As long as this wave is not completely screwed over for Anivia, there's no way he can touch her.
Yep. Likely not going to see anything too interesting here early on. Probably going to see some pretty heavy trading as the taunt not going to connect there by the Shen, but it does not matter. Does have the empowered Q, so going to get a good trade there off on a K-Pack. Next taunt comes up, and that could be a kill up there with the Ignite, with the the next empowered Q.
I mean, I gotta say it, Riot messed up buffing Shen. I hate that champion.
I mean, Shen's been in the dirt for like 3 years. I think
Keep it there.
We can give him like 2 weeks in the in the limelight, right?
Oh no, he needs to go away. That's so uninteractive.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't necessarily want to see it long term, but it's like, it's just nice for like a little change of pace, something that we haven't seen in like a super long time. And then that being said, get rid of it, nice and quickly on the next patch. It's kind of like when Rek'Sai like completely took over last year out of nowhere. Prize, good dash over the wall. Amo trying to go in with the remount on the rel. No dice though.
Yeah, this is kind of how I think this is how Prize wants to play the lane. Lucian has that bit of early game dominance, so I think Prize just wants to sit there, look pretty, you know, catch his waves, just chill for a bit. I think Prize just will completely outscale this game.
Yep. The Fury
Oh,
gonna
really
dash in and almost kill off Clove with those dogs. Gonna have to be careful here now. Thigh High dashes in. Amo gonna get the double Q off and just W right back out.
Yeah,
Early trades going the way of THOC.
Yeah, really nice trading there by I'm gonna have a stroke again. By Amo there with the rel. The double stun was actually really impressive.
And now dashing in another double Q coming out here from the side of Rel Lucian, but the extended trade maybe going the way of Isopod. Gonna run back out under the tower. Health bars are low, and Maokai is up here. They are maybe looking to make a play here on a K-Pack, who does see the Maokai. Do they look to force the flash W? It is gonna be flash for flash follow. Can they use the taunt over the top? Yes, they can. First blood over to Sai William, making it look easy.
Yeah, too much CC on the side of Sai William Porf for K-Pack there. Bad that he blowed the flash there. I think unfortunately if Maokai beats you to the flash, you're kind of just dead, especially when you're that low. But nice attempt to try to get out. Unfortunately, top lane looks like it is going to freeze. I think. Looking at it, I can't see it because of Shen's portrait. Oh, my thing froze. Little stream buffer there. But yeah, really nice look there by Sai William. I'm trying to get Porf ahead just to make sure that Shen is a menace on the side lane.
Yeah, and importantly, Porf didn't use any summoners there. So Mordecai's used the flash. Shen can get a reset off, maybe get some items for lane, and kind of just do it all over again without the Maokai needing to do anything. Look at this invade coming out from the THOC bot lane, getting a ward on the red. Interesting Interesting aggressive path here. Gonna get spotted out though. And maybe Malkai looks to run down here. Do they get a W off? Doesn't look like it, but Clove is running aggressively. And you can already see up on the top side, able to pick up another kill. We're going to have a 3v3 here on the bot side though. Flash out from Zeph, follow through flash by Zero Cola. Going to get out. Wait, and now the Shen comes in with the Stand United, but the play is dead. A little bit of a waste there, but it's better to save, or it's better to use and waste than save and not use when you need it. Picked up the kill though on the top side.
Yeah, I mean, it was really nice solo kill there. The Shen was a bit questionable, yeah. But the wave fully crashed, so, I mean, it stalls recalls. I'm not sure how it looks for the dragon. This dragon honestly looks like it's in favor of THOC, with really low health bars everywhere.
Yeah, this is dangerous. Flash in there from Thigh High, not gonna be able to get the damage off with the Shen W, who is still around here, is gonna have to taunt over the wall. Shen's got to get back to their wave soon.
Yeah,
More
the wave is gonna crash. Neferi is also on her way back. I think this drag is just for the side of THOC. Yeah, like I was saying, the Shen at first I did think it was okay, but then like THOC kind of bailed out of the play, and then unfortunately Isopod Island was just too low to start that dragon. Whereas I think if Shen had just based after his solo kill, he could have been high health enough to just kind of impact that play a bit more, but it is what it is. I mean, in hindsight, is what it is.
Is what it is. Dragon ultimately gets picked up there by Volley. You always like to get that early objective, get that early dragon on the board. Grubs are spawning up here in a minute. We'll see if either of these junglers really like to prio it. I don't think either side doesn't have like the best turret takers. As Karma is going to look to stop the reset here of the Rel. Lucian does get theirs off.
I think Isopod could benefit off of Grubs. Oh,
it's actually Papa Doge dashes in onto the Fury, forces out the flash. Does use the Ignite as well on the Fury, but they are going to have to run out here. Cy William is going to dissuade this Neferi from trying to pick up the kill, but that is a flash, and that is the egg passive down, which could make it a little tough at this Grub fight.
Yeah, the really little play there by Papa Doge just bursting out Clove for this Grub prio. Papa Doge doesn't really have much mana, but Clove does really need to back, because at the same time they also don't have any mana and they have no egg. So one misstep by Clove here could just be their life.
Yeah, and I think most importantly, Cy William, not level 6 on this Maokai, makes fighting at this Grub fight nearly impossible. Gonna walk in by themselves into the Volibear Q, into the Rel, chain CC. They are half HP. They do not have a flash. Dunked over the top by Zep, and that is going to be a trade kill for this Volibear. Going to start to get snowballed here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we said it in draft. We did not anticipate this Volibear getting ahead at all, but it is looking like, I mean, similar to last game. Started out with like, I think 1 or 2 kills in the early game, and then just ended up being a complete menace on the Kane.
Yeah, especially if Volibear, depending on what they go, which we'll eventually get to see what item they look to, what item they're indexing into. If they are going like the Cosmic Navori, they should be able to run rampant on these tanky members on the side of Isopod Island. Zero Cola gonna have to run away. But yeah, almost we'll be at almost 2,000 by the time they're on their top side, so they should be close to the Cosmic if they're going that route. Prize is going to just dash over the wall. Again, if Prize is playing this well, there's really no opportunity for Amo to do anything on the Rel. And so far, Prize doing relatively well. Even CS into the Lucian Rel, I think you are chilling there.
I do too. The Rel isn't my favorite pairing with Lucian either. I get it for the teamfight synergy, but I feel like maybe something that would have helped Lucian be a bit more impressive in lane would have been a bit better, because Azeri is just essentially getting to scale for free.
Yeah, and now good ult there, going to use the Maokai, the coming through onto 2, and they are going to be able to lock them up there with the Stand United. Double kill for the side of Isopod Island, 1 to Shen, 1 to Maokai, 4-1 goes your kill count.
Yep. I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, the side of Isopod Island knows that, like, if anything goes south for Zeri and Lucian starts getting kills early, the entire game could just be over. So they're playing really well around, like, trying to, not babysit, but just make sure Zeri's early game gets well enough that she can just carry them through the late game. Because I really think if Zarya gets ahead, or if it gets a better early phase than Lucian, it's really hard to touch her in these late game team fights.
Yeah, forcing out the flash. Flash or flash there. Mordekaiser and Shen. Heads up play there from Porf to force the taunt under tower. Is now Thigh High going to try and get the damage off on a Zero Cola. Not going to be that much. 2 plates, nearly 3 taken there on the bot side. And the gold lead, not super impactful just yet. Is only about 500. But we do have the next dragon will be up here in just about a minute or so. Yeah, right there. Just minute on the dot. Volibear has that first item, is going that cosmic, picked up a dark seal. They had to have just had an extra 350 gold laying around.
No boots, no shoes. It's cold
Yeah.
outside. Well, no, it's hot.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
But-
little hot outside for sure. They could have gone the free
Cosmic?
boots. That's
Cosmic,
yeah,
yeah. Actually,
it's possible.
Can I press it?
I think so.
They did. They did.
Yeah, yep. And so they'll get those in just about 5 seconds because they do have the 1 kill. So they're going to be really, really strong at this fight.
Oh.
Maokai going to Leandri's as they're actually here onto Thigh High, who does have flash. Going to use it, but just get chain rooted anyway. Does not look like we're going to have a dragon fight here, but maybe Zeph is thinking otherwise.
I mean, Zeph has that item. Papa Doge is sitting on that Yomu's. If there is a time to fight, they could do it now. I mean, Rel has ult, Papa Doge has ult, Zeph has ult. I think if they just combo it together. Clove has no mana here, he does have the TP. I think Papa Doge is a little bit stronger. I mean, they could essentially wait until Lucian comes back.
Yeah, I mean, you can see not on that Rod of Ages yet on this Nivea. It is a 4v3 at the moment, so if they're going to look to do this objective, they should look to fight this now before Lucian gets here. But they're kind of stalling him out here. Red side just kind of toying with him a little bit. And now is where it kind of looks tough if you are an Isopod Island fan. 4,000 on this dragon. This is looking like we're just going to get a 50-50 here. We'll have to see. I mean, the Q smite from Maokai is super impactful. Calling comes through onto the bot side. It is going to be a force here. Now Amo goes down onto 4 with the Max Storm. Neferi's diving in. They pick up the kill on the combo first. And now Zeri is the next to fall side. Flash out, but they're just going to fall, and that is going to be a 4 for nothing for the side of THOC, and they will pick up the dragon to boot.
Yeah, really well played there. I saw the vision from Amo. Such a good rel in cage. Just setting up the Neferi and the Volibear. Volibear ending up with the triple kill there. That Dark Seal, yeah, I'm eating my words. He's now at 6 stacks. This Volibear is going to be such a menace.
For sure, this Volibear is going to be a nightmare to deal with. Absolutely massive play there from the side of THOC. And again, that was just a little bit of indecision from the side of from Isopod Island. They had the numbers advantage. If they look to maybe force the fight in the 4v3 as Lucian was coming back, it looks a lot different. But you wait until he's there, you get the culling, getting the damage over the top, and then that massive Magnet Storm from the Rel. Yeah, this game just exploded big time in favor of THOC.
I'm also not sure what happened there to Porf. The Stand United was up. I'm not sure if maybe the play had been like too late. Maybe there was an indecision. Like you said, the Stand United was up. I think the Shen ult could have maybe extended Prize's life a little bit more, so they could get a little bit more of that the whatever Zeri ult is called.
Yeah, maybe saving it for this play here as they're getting collapsed here on Zero Cola, trying to use the exhaust onto Papa Doge, on Fury. They are going to die. Do they get their Zeri out? It does look like they do, but now this Neferi has a little bit of a shutdown of their own. They finally able to pick up their first kill.
Yeah, this Neferi and Volibear duo are not looking fun to play against. If I'm the Anivia, if I'm the Zeri, I think it's just really hard.
And that is going to be a root coming out there, trying to get the damage off onto this Volley, who is getting chunked out pretty hard. That is kind of the downside when you go this very, this very heavy damage build. You are pretty squishy. Stand United was used there. Not really going to get anything out of it though, and the bot tower is going to fall for first tower. Kind of despite the pressure I feel like we've been seeing from Prize and from Zero Cola.
Yeah.
First tower on the bot side, and they're looking to go aggressive here. That Magnet Storm does not connect, but the Q does. Prize pops their ult there, and Rel might get traded off here in response. Barrier having to get used here, calling gets used, and now we're back to a fight on the bot side. Neferi is eventually going to fall shutdown over to Cy William, and it looks like they're continuing this fight on the bot side. Maybe not, just getting out, but signs of life here for Isopod.
Yeah, this looks like Shen's here on the flank. I don't think they know
Yeah, they don't look like they know, but do they care is the question. Zero Cola maybe baiting here, trying to buy enough time. Taunt is going to connect there, and that is going to be a dash out there. Prize is going to get dunked on by this Volibear, who is now going to run rampant. This tower is down, has those lethal stacks, and they should just be pumping here. I've seen this many a time. Just going to fade away with the E for disrespect. Unstoppable on the volley.
Yeah, I don't. The thing, like, the Shen ult before, I understood the vision, but I think there's a bit of a miscommunication going on with Isopod Island right now. If I'm calling for a Shen ult, if I'm asking for a Shen ult, I think the move there is to not, I guess, peel away. Because in the moment, the split second that the standing light comes down, Ty Williams already kiting away from the two that they're making a play on. So I think the Shen ult was a little bit misused there.
Yeah, and now Cy William gonna get forced out of their jungle by this Nefiri. You can take the champ in the mid lane, but it doesn't change the way they play in jungle. Now finds themselves in a 1v2 against K-Pack, against Papa Doge. E not going to be able to connect there. This is a Maokai, relatively tanky with the Aftershock. Will be able to get out, but Rel is now up here as well.
Yeah, they said this is my jungle.
And Cy William actually opts in, gets pulled back. They're going to trade their life. Was trying to maybe bait a little bit for Porf here, but ended up just giving their life away. And now Zeph is here on the top side, going to get the damage off. Again, there is that interaction with the Shen W, but does not matter. Volibear on these two items, on that 10-stack Dark Seal, could turn that into a Mage Eyes here soon. And Rift Tail just can get started up here as well.
Yeah, Zeph is becoming a lot just insane on this Volibear. Like 502, 600 gold bounty, 10 stacks on that Dark Seal. I'm assuming is opting into the Merc Treads with the no magic missile, but I'm not sure. Gonna be a little bit unstoppable for the side of Isopod Island.
Yeah, meanwhile, we've got a fight here on the bot side. Nefiri going into that ultimate, trying to get the damage off onto Clove if they can, but the calling in the mid lane now, not going to be able to pick the kill there either on a Prize. That is both your carries getting extremely chunked out before this Dragon, which I would assume is just going to go the way of THOC. I don't see a world in which they're looking to fight this on Isopod. You're down 3,000. This Volibear is a nightmare at the moment.
Yeah.
Not sure how they fight it.
If I am Isopod Island, I'm fine with giving Dragon. I know it's the third. You're a scaling comp. You obviously want to stack your dragons. I think bleeding out when you're already bleeding so much will just secure the game. I think if I'm Isopod Island here, I'm just cross mapping. I'm allowing my Shen to just hit top tower for free because Mordekaiser has rotated down. I don't think they touch this dragon. Even giving this mid tower, they have Rift Herald. The tower is 200 HP. I just think if I'm Isopod, I'm just slowing the pace.
Yeah. Slowing the pace. You've got this Zeri. You've got this Anivia, who does finally have that Roa in tow. So if this game goes 10 more minutes, that will be impactful. But Dragon going to be picked up. It is third. It is an Ocean. Really feels good for this Mordekaiser. Feels really good for this Volibear as well. Again, going this non-tanky build. Kind of getting bailed out a little bit by those Oceans. Feels really good. And yeah, I mean, you got 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes to figure out something on the side of Isopod.
Yeah, I mean, after this 5 minutes, if members don't already have it, I think Grievous is a must. Especially for this Volibear, for this Mordekaiser, like you said. I think if you don't buy Grievous this game, if they end up on this Soul, the game's already over. You have no way of killing these really beefy and somewhat ahead players. Volibear is clearly ahead, but the Mordekaiser has been kind of winning silently. I think just a couple of these plays that Porf has been trying to make to kind of bail out their team has been putting them behind in the top lane. Mordekaiser's been able to just get that tower when we saw Shen bullying them earlier. So just a bit of just macro indecisions, but still super winnable.
Yeah, I mean, Shen's just one of those champions, right? Where it's like the line, but I'll actually just hold that thought as Shen taunts in, opts into a 1v2, going to just put the little fancy feet on. Cy William is up here. I still don't like their chances in the 2v2, but we got Zero Cola up here to maybe make the difference. Porf is already in super low, and this volley is chunked. This volley will eventually fall. Ours over the top. Can they get the kill? Give it over to Prize. Massive shutdown there, and now K-Pack is in a 1v4. They are eventually going to fall here, but can they might have time for Amo to come in over the top? Calling gets used there. Rel trying to frontline as best they can. Maokai flashes in onto the Mags from top as well. Stand United onto this Maokai, and now Rel on the wrong side of the rift. They cannot quite catch the Lucian. Thigh High should be able to get out. Does get hit up there by the taunt with the flash from Zero Cola. Hits up the W. Not going to be able to get the root, but they should still fall here in the end. Rel going to get ran down here. Has a flash over the wall. Papa Doge is here. Does Seri aggress? No, they do not. And just like we kind of saw in game number 1, a little bit of over-aggression from the side of THOC, and now all of a sudden it's a 1k goal difference. Not even.
I mean, Zeri has a completed call, has now gotten a 1,000 gold shutdown on the Fed member of the side of THOC. Like I was saying, I think they really need to slow it down, but slowing it down doesn't necessarily mean not going for plays that are good for you. I think they did really well here, just capitalizing on a play that they knew was overforced by THOC, and now Zeri is sitting 1,000 gold richer. I expected to start pumping out a lot more damage now, and vice versa. The Volibear died and has lost their Dark Steel stack, so I expect them to start opting into a more tankier build, and we can already see that coming out with the Ruby Crystal and the No Magic Mantle.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna be going the Spirit Visage most likely.
Yeah.
Pretty good pretty good item on Volley for sure. But yeah, I mean that's all it takes. Just one death, one over aggressive play, and all of a sudden it feels like that snowball you had has a completely. That being said, still really strong. This build in particular, they could look to force an Atacon. We do see every member except for the Anivia, who does not have the teleport. Important to note, they could look to start this up on the side of THOC if they wanted to, but they're just going to look to force out the vision, kind of retake that control. They don't quite have ultimates up on the side of Isopod. Zero Cola just getting chunked out here. Massive Magic Storm, and Karma is just dead before anything can happen. Maokai going to be the next to follow. Double kill there for Thigh High, and Nefiri trying to do what they can, trying to get in on Surprise. Porf is in a one-on-one with the Mordekaiser. It looks like we cannot see that on the top side. It's just going to be Prize eventually dying to Papa Doge. 3 for nothing, and that will be the Atacon too.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, like you just need to wait for ult. You just got done making a very good play. The Otacon, the Thornbound Otacon, this new one, is strong. It's definitely something you want to contest, but I think if you're this far behind, or have been playing from this far behind for the side of the Isopod Island, I think you're just pushing mid-wave. I think you're just looking to cross-map. I think you're just looking to take that top tower that's been standing for way too long. You're trying to crash this mid-wave. Just anything to kind of take when you're giving. They point-flipped a fight at Otacon. Obviously didn't go their way, so now they're kind of just feeling the consequences of that.
Yeah, and I mean, that couple second difference from Maokai having their ultimate versus not having it for that Atacon play might have made the difference.
Yeah.
Because you can see Cy Williams still has it in tow. It was just about to come up, but the engage from the Rel, Zero Cola immediately nuked on this Karma. Maokai didn't have a chance to use it. Maybe for the best that they didn't use it, because now it's up for this soul fight. We are going to have to see the side of Isopod Island try and contest this. But in order to do so, they're going to be walking into this Rel, into this Volibear. Lucian trying to keep this mid lane control. It is going to be tough to enter here for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can already see, like, THOC is warding everything. They have complete control of this bot side jungle.
Yeah, I mean, they have to try and shove out this mid wave to enter, but they're maybe getting collapsed here on. K-Pack is hurting them in a little bit. 5v3, not the best opportunity here for the side of Isopod. Prize, massive dash over the wall, but they are still going to get gunned down by the culling. We now find Papa Doge looking to dash in, does get interrupted there by Cy William, who flashes in onto this Karma, does pick up the kill there. 2 for nothing here so far. Make it a 3 for nothing on Cy William, who is tanky, but they will eventually fall, and now they should just be able to go pick up this Ocean Soul for free.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's look there by K-Pack. Having that flank, really well played by that with that E. Has that rally, so Zeri and Karma just unfortunately couldn't make it out there before THOC cleaned them up.
And now,
bit of a
Doge going in.
But they're
It
playing
was a little bit of I don't know, style points. Maybe they're from Amo. Hit the Q and then W the opposite direction. Maybe Papa Doge got a little bit baited there by their Rel. Either way, that is going to be the Ocean Soul picked up for THOC. This Mordekaiser, this Volibear, if they weren't already a problem, they're going to become even more of a threat. You know, Volibear has undone that oopsie, already back up to 10 stacks on the Dark Seal. Wouldn't be surprised if they buy a full Mage Eyes, because you're kind of at the point where you either buy it or you sell it. You know, there's no point hanging on to this for too much longer. Objective bounties are live. still signs of life for Isopod, but the gold lead starting to balloon up. Your side waves, really all your towers are getting crushed here. As Mordekaiser maybe gonna get caught out here, gonna force out the flash from side William into the knockup, into the are potentially already at half HP. It looks like they pull Porf into the death realm, but Shen does have that ignite. They are going to use it here. Mordekaiser, though, has a lot of shielding, has a lot. Ocean Soul going to buy so much time. They will eventually go down, but Papa Doge is now here. Picks up the kill onto the Shen. Zero Cola flashes out, has the shield, but they're just going to get dashed in on immediately thereafter. Papa Doge now with a double kill, and now your carries are coming. Can they buy enough time to turn the tides in this fight? No, they cannot, but they will get their Maokai out. But now Thigh High actually dashes in over the wall. Maybe did a little bit of a goo. Not going to be able to die here. The burn, not quite enough on this Anivia.
Yeah, a bit of an overstep there by Thigh High. You are strong, my friend, but you are still an AD carry.
Yes, still an AD carry. Gets forced out here, but the Baron is going to get started up here by the side of THOC. They're going to have to force it off here, though. Volibear kind of run down side William, going to get chunked out here. Clove trying to do the damage that they can, and they're trying to run away from this Volibear. Not going to egg is pop. The egg is going to get deleted, and that means they're just right back on Baron.
Yeah, if I'm the Isopod here, I know the Baron contest looks like it's a must. I guess it is, but like, though I feel like Isopod has just been falling into this trap of like going in one by one and not waiting for it to, I guess, kind of team fight. The Mord it looked really good. The play on the Mordekaiser looks really good. I think after the play goes south, you just kind of take time to recollect, rethink, how do we want to approach this? But I think they're just falling into this trap that like, oh, we have to keep doing something, but you're so far behind that doing something is unironically hurting you.
Bit of a lose-lose situation. Down about, what's that, 6.5K, somewhere around there. Should potentially pick up this tower, but Papa Doge going to dash in onto the Shen. A bit of a 1v1 here, not for long though, as Clove is coming through with the teleport as well, going to bail out their Shen. But that means this mid lane could be free fired on by the side of THOC. And now Volibear is sprinting up here at full speed. Flash in there from Porf, but we're now actually going to turn into this mid lane 3v3. Back to the top lane. Porf likely going to be the first to fall here, trying to do the damage that they can. Going to get slowed up here is Clove by that E. Porf into the taunt, not going to be able to do enough here. And now we see Zero Cola goes down. Cy William likely going to fall here nice and quick. Thigh High goes down under the tower. K-Pack has to flash out, is super, super low. Double kill though for Zeph on the top side. This is such a split game. Ultimately, it's a 3 for 1 in favor of THOC.
Yeah, like I was saying, I think the side of Isopod Island is super, super split up. I think the comms are maybe on fire. I don't know why. I see the look. I would understand why Clove is keeping to kind of help out Porf, but I think after Neferi uses her whole kit, Porf isn't really that much in too much danger. I think wasting the TP to kind of try to save the Shen might have been a bit of an overplay, and it just resulted in them both dying to Zeph.
Yep, and now Papa Doge can run it out. Again, these towers have been wailed on. I believe both the tier 3 top and mid were taken during that Baron. Don't know. We should have a little bit of timer left on the Baron. We see Zeph pushing up on the spot side, maybe gonna get some damage off, not really too much. Resets are coming out for the side of THOC. You got Elder probably coming up in just over a minute, somewhere around that timer, and should be a pretty one fight, barring a disaster. I think you're probably in that point in the game where it's going to take a throw from THOC to win this one for Isopod.
You are definitely in that. I think Isopod is just praying to whatever god, deity, the trees, whomever, that the side of THOC just messes up something, anything, because I don't think you will ever win a 5v5 into them.
Yeah, especially not when K-Pack, again, not the most impactful in this Mordekaiser, but all you got to do is ult this 3-item Zeri, and as you like to say, how can play?
How can play? How can win?
For,
what can do?
For prize, for Isopod, it is looking tough. Gold lead now up to about 10,000. Prize is wailing on its midwave, trying to contest as best they can. You can see Elder is up in less than a minute. We will see how they look to approach this. I think you have to. I think if you're giving up the Elder, you may as well, may as well throw up the FF.
Yeah, especially into the Fury.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're just gonna die anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Nafiri has this edge of night on the top side, so they're gonna be even harder to lock down. We see them trying to walk in through mid. Porfa is not there. Does have the stand united. They're tracking this this Nafiri. Yeah, I definitely think now would be the time to fight. Nafiri gonna dash in onto Clove, taking them down to about half HP already. Cy William uses the R now as well, going to lock down multiple members. Going to have to run this one out. Clove super low. Cy William is going to drop here. Has to use the flash out onto the Neferi, and this could be your last team fight of the game. Papa Doge actually gets super choked out there, and that is the Master Center. Redemption is out of nowhere, and in this fight still, despite the Neferi going down immediately, it is going all the way of the side of THOC. All that is left is your Shen, and make it a full-blown ace. Give it over potentially to your Volley, ready to give them a triple. K-Pack ready up a kill on Maokai, triple kill for Zeph, and that is going to be game number 2 over to the side of the highest of Crocs.
Yeah, again, I think THOC just playing a masterclass game. Zeph on this volleyball 10, 1, and 10 reminded me of somebody I know, not to point fingers. I just think every single member on the side of THOC played a really well game. And Isopod played well too. I just think they kept taking fights and just plays that they really didn't need to take.
Yeah, I mean, it's like pretty similar to that game 1 where like early game was going fine. Early game was fine for the side of Isopod, and then a couple mid game plays really blew up, and then from there it just kind of felt like they didn't have a way back into the game. That being said, it is 2-0 for the side of THOC here so far.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if we get a game 3. Hopefully we do. Again, there are still the chances for points, and I do certainly think that Isopod can win game number 3. It's not as if they've been outclassed by their hands or anything like that. It's just
Yeah.
the macro. Kind of like you're talking about, like the use of the Stand United, maybe some like split comms on like where people should be or what teleports are being used. It just kind of feels like they aren't extremely on the same page here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to see that cleaned up just a little bit.
Yeah, agreed. I think Isopods just take this 2 games, the series, in a with kind of like how would you say it? Don't take it too hard is what I'm trying to say. I think that they definitely do have a chance to win the 3rd game. I don't think there was a complete stomp. It was just like just calls that don't seem like they were fully committed by every single member of the team. Like the one play we saw a Standing United come out, Maokai just kind of peeling away when they could have in fact just went in. And I think the comms kind of were just really split. But I do definitely think if they play this game 3, that they could take a game off of the highest of Crocs. But I haven't been invited. It doesn't look like I'm seeing one.
Yeah, maybe they're deciding. I mean, we've definitely seen it, in the LBL before, right? I think I remember there was a game last season team, right, where like, you guys stomped games 1 and 2, and then somebody picked a singed against you guys game 3 and absolutely railed you guys. So it just didn't matter that you guys won the series 2-1. Seemed like you guys were all cooked by that singed. You remember who that was? It's like slipped my mind a little bit.
I don't want to remember.
Might have been another Twilight Zone member.
It could have been. Was it Laos? Do you think? I think it was Laos.
Singed support, maybe.
No, Laos is a top line.
Oh, I see. So we are gonna get into game 3 here, which is good to see. I would like to see some adaptations. I really think I want to see Porf on something that can win lane. I mean, we saw on the Shen able to, solo kill K-Pack, had the impact, but you're playing a Shen, so it's like your way of transitioning that lead is coming in with ours, and it's like it's not the same as like wailing on turrets or picking up kills or anything like that. So I would like to see something different come out for sure for Porf, if nothing else.
I agree. I think if Porf is given the opportunity to just have like a super hard stomping lane, it's definitely, I think it would definitely benefit the side of Isopod a lot. Because that's one less champion that you have to worry about. That's a win condition that you could play through. But I just think that they've been lacking a clear win condition. I just don't think they've been playing towards one as much.
And it looks like maybe we are switching sides here. At least based on I know chat can't see it, but I'm seeing all of THOC lined up on blue side, so I'm maybe assuming here a little bit. And you know what they say about assuming. But Isopod now lining up on red side, so I'm feeling a whole lot better about that assumption for sure. So a little bit of a difference there. Maybe that's the key.
It could be. I mean, maybe some teams play better on different sides. Maybe like they just have a better draft strategy on different sides. Who knows? If they win this game, then that could be the key. Just switch it up. You know, it could just be like you need to break the dust off, just shake it off. You know, just try something new. Maybe that's your win condition.
No, I mean for sure, you know, people play better on different sides. Like I know me personally, I think my winner on blue side is way higher than red side. For whatever reason. You know, that's definitely not a leak to the pigs in a blanket that are listening in as we have our match on Wednesday. It's for sure placebo. But no,
Yeah.
I mean some people are just more comfortable on one side than the other. For some people it's a little more luck. I mean, maybe what I want to see come out from Isopod here is that R5 counter for your top laner. Put them in a position to kind of carry the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, you know, it's no disrespect to the mid laners out there. I mean, you know this conversation all too well, but how much of an impact are we getting on R5 mid lane when we're playing, you know, a control mage, right? Just not that much. Top lane can
Unless
definitely do a lot more with it.
unless you're not playing on control mage in that case, hit me up. But
Yeah, like
like
I mean
Joey Slossy.
R5 Galio. Oh,
Whoa. I would never.
like you like I said, you are so lucky that the Discord clipping feature sucks. I have it's lost of time. I think unfortunately, it'll sit there and process forever.
Yeah,
The
good.
words that I never thought I'd hear came out of your mouth last night at 5:30 in the morning.
Dude,
And
AP Assassin Galio is like the move, I think.
you think
I believe. Oh wait, they're starting draft. They're starting draft.
they are starting draft? We'll see what they look to change up here. Again, now there's no Volibear, there's no Fury. Papa Doge could go the Anivia. I would hate to see it for sure. And again, those top lane bands coming out from the side of THOC. We'll see if they leave open the Shen. Because again, they didn't leave it, or they left it up last game. It was taken. The Belveth, again, not a fun champion to play against whatsoever. And the
Agreed.
Poppy gonna get taken away. That is interesting.
That I feel like that means that maybe some sort of dashy champion is coming out potentially. Um, and that would exactly Samira. Samira's a bit of a crazy first pick.
The Samira
Please.
could be a shout out from Papa Doge. Papa Doge and I played on a comp team this season. And he basically begged for Samira every game, 80 carry. We picked it early multiple times. Then he'd complain that the other team built C. It's like a whole thing. Pantheon gonna be the pickup on B1.
Yeah, I like that a lot more than a Samira.
It's like hard not to like anything more than a Samira B1, right?
Yeah.
Pantheon gonna be the pickup. Sejuani gonna be the hover. Looks pretty good here into the Pantheon. Will it be the lock in though?
Yeah, I mean, William, we know him on the Sejuani, a bit of a rift terrorist, known to terrorize teams. I don't think I've ever played it because luckily my team agreed to Sejuani banning. But every time I've seen William on that Sejuani, it's just been a nightmare to watch, in a good way, or I guess a bad way for the enemy team. But like every
Yeah.
time I see William on the Sejuani, he's impossible to kill. He's like 1v9ing, killing everybody. I'm excited to see it again.
Yeah, gonna be. I think it's a pretty solid matchup into Pantheon. Going to be a Jin pickup. Oh, no, gotta pivot over to the Caitlyn. Last second switch there for Thigh High. We'll see if they go like an aggressive engage support here. They could go like Lux. They could go really a lot of different directions with Caitlyn. But whatever direction they go, I want to see it as like something to kind of win lane. They are indexing very heavily into this early game, and so the Ornn would potentially give them a security blanket, and that's gonna make potentially picking a carry top laner a little hard. Could go something like the Gwen. You could go something like trying to think what else could be good here for Porf. Uh, it's again new player to the LBL, so I'm not like 100% familiar what they've got in. And instead, they're just gonna pick Ari for the Clove, yeah, for Clove, and make that decision later.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the champions that Cloves excels at. I remember seeing like Ari and Anivia Seraphine. They could look to ban the Ari or the Seraphine or not. What is that champion called? The Anivia here, but it looks like they're banning the Mel. I don't know. Papado should play Mel. Mel's and
Has
Zhao.
played it a couple
I think they're
times.
against us. Mel's and Zhao ban.
Yeah, a little bit of a strange pivot coming out mid-series, like almost towards the end of the series.
Yeah.
Shen, Mordekaiser are going to be banned away. I would assume you probably just pick your top laner here on 4. You already know you're into the again, I would like to see something that can try to bully this Ornn, which is again easier said than done. Or just something that can kind of free scale and become a monster late.
Mhm.
Not sure what that answer is going to be, and it's going to
I was
be
gonna
the
say Fiora.
Fiora.
I was going to say Fiora. I think Fiora would be really good here. Nobody can really match her. You have to draw. You have to draft a side laning mid laner, or Fiora is gonna be a nightmare. Nobody can
Yeah,
match Fiora on a side lane unless you drafted a side laning mid laner here. Which even then, there are very few side laners that can
deal
side
with
lane against
Fiora.
Fiora. Not necessarily
Mhm.
go against her, but like just clear away. I guess Hui would be good.
Yeah.
Syndra would not be my pick.
Melio pickup into it makes a little bit of sense into the Ari, into the Sedge. Not sure how I guess it's okay for laning purposes. And the Syndra gonna be the pickup. And R5 Nautilus coming out for the side or 4-0 Cola.
Hmm. I don't. I don't love the Syndra pick. I think. I think it's a bit hard for her to ever show her face to Fiora, because if she does ever try to E Fiora and Fiora is timing it well enough, she's just instantly dead into Fiora. Then again, there's very few mid lane mages that can even match Fiora, so I don't know. The Kate Melia, I'm not a fan of. I don't love Melia with Kate. Like, she doesn't really need an auto attack range extender. I think if they went like a Lux, Nico tried to poke Xayah Nautilus out of lane, especially because they're both essentially melee. Xayah's range is super low compared to Caitlyn's. I think the bot lane would be going a lot better here. But
Yeah, I have to agree. But I think we have to give a little bit of leeway to Amo on
yeah,
on this
agreed.
Melio. They have smurfed the first 2 games, so it's like I'm willing to hear him out on this Melio in game 3. Do I think it's the best? No, but again, I'm not the one on the rift tonight. I am just merely here yapping it up. Um, yeah, I mean, I think THOC have like a pretty like well balanced like scaling. Like across the board. Like obviously Caitlyn has the early game. Late game you got the insurance of the Ornn, and then Caitlyn eventually will kind of really. They kind of pivot, down towards that mid game. Hopefully Syndra can kind of get some work done. I mean, the Syndra Pantheon sounds like a super easy combo to execute in my mind. But it comes down to execution. Got to catch out this Ari, who again, what's it called, the Spirit Rush. We'll be able to just get away nice and easy. But if you're able to find opportunities before then, could try and snowball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not loving the Syndra pick. If Papa Doge played like the Victor the way, then that would have been
He does.
better. I think that would have been a
Yeah,
lot
I'm
better.
not sure. Like, so the only thing I can really think of is just that combo with Panth. But again, if
Pantheon.
you go like a Way, if you go a Victor, like they
Victor's
both
a bit
have CC
trickier.
follow up
Yeah.
pretty easily.
Yeah.
But what do we know?
What do I know? I'm just watching. But no, we're not Inspector Delay yet. Yeah. I think this side of I Isopod, I like it more because they are not lagging damage anymore. Well, I like it more than their previous drafts. I don't like it over THOC's draft, but I think they're drafting more damage, which is really good. Like a Fiora can actually bully Ornn, whereas Shen is just kind of wet noodle slapping him and praying that he does enough damage to kill him. I think uh who's their top laner? What's his name? Porf. Porf should be able to kind of like show that, high elo wave management mechanics over K-Pack here on the Fiora, as opposed to the tanks he's been playing. I expect Fiora to explode this game, but again, what do I know? I'm just spectating. Um, The mid lane matchup shouldn't really be anything special. I don't expect anybody to die unless they're goofing. And then the bot lane, I don't know. I don't love the Kate Melia. I know Amo has been playing really well, but I think if Amo played like the like I was saying, the Lux, the Morgana, the like even Nico, I think they would be a lot better just to kind of keep the pressure up on the side. But I don't know. I could be proven wrong.
Yeah, I for sure want to see uh it's a weird acronym to use in conversation.
Yeah, it's really
I want
hard.
to see Cy William. I want to see them playing towards this Fiora. I mean, you can for sure look to gank bot. I mean, Nautilus has easy setup. Um, but I think if you get this Fiora ahead, you play for those grubs. What is the side of THOC supposed to do? Um, we'll have to see if they look to do that. Sejuani, again, really impactful once you have that level 6, but with the Fiora, with the Nautilus, you can for sure make plays early game without ult, because you got pretty easy stacking of your passive. Again, personally, as a Sejuani player, I'm not dying to have that set up from other teammates, but it's like nice to have, and for sure makes early game plays a little bit easier, as now we're in the spectator.
Yep. And as usual with the spectator delay, there will be ads, but not for our subscribers. Never ads for you guys. Until Twitch takes that away, but you know. So then
Well,
enjoy it.
at that point, it's like, why are you even subscribing, right?
Hey, for the nice little
Well,
crown.
well, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to convince you guys to unsubscribe for the record.
You know what? You know what? Booted. Wait, no, please.
Oh,
No, you're carrying the stream. Wait, hold on. No.
no, I'm outie. Sorry. Actually,
Doo doo.
yeah. Um,
Yeah. Um. I don't know. I think the games have been explosive, but I expect this one to be even more explosive just because of the champs that they have.
yeah, I for sure expect this to be early game focused. I think, again, you got this Pantheon who, personally, I don't think is super impactful in the jungle if you're not making proactive plays. Kind of like I was saying about the Poppy game 1, you're not really all that benefited by full clearing on Panth. Like, you got to use your W to like make plays happen across the map. And it's kind of hard with Emilio. You don't really have that much setup in the bot lane. It's like typically you want to play towards the Caitlyn, but I think it's gonna be, a lot of time with Zeph and Papa Doge getting to know each other. That's kind of what I'm seeing, and we'll see if it plays out that way. Again, THOC have already won the series tonight, but it's a points based league, so again, if Isopod Island can come away with some points, that would be pretty good for the standings. As I believe the standings so far are pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Pretty tight so far, like across the entire league.
I believe so. I think I can pull it up. I think
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's in first. I think Peacekeepers are in first right now. But we'll see. Let me pull it up.
Or well, so both of these teams are in. Of course, I'm now looking at the team sheet, and it doesn't. Are we the? We're the lunar group, right? I
We
think. Yeah. No, we're
no,
solar. We're
we're
solar.
solar.
It's like 50-50. So right now, THOC, if they go 3-0, then they're putting themselves in a better spot because again, they did FF week number 1. These are currently the two teams at the bottom in air quotes, but I think a lot of that is due to just due to this being,
Yeah.
their second series. LDS just lost their series, so they're gonna fall. And so really it's a completely wide open league as we're out onto the rift, taking a look at summoners. Is there anything interesting? Not that I'm seeing. How do you feel about the first strike on Syndra?
I think it's fine. It's one of the only runes that should check on her besides Electrocute Comet. I think it's fine until Ari. She shouldn't have too much difficulty pocking it. I think you need it for the Sejuani and the Nautilus.
Oh, Papa Doge, though, gonna get caught out here potentially. Gonna have to force out the flash. Not gonna be able to hit up the hook, but that's sending massive like alerts in my mind. Sindri, no flash for 5 minutes. If I'm Sejuani, I'm trying to find a way to punish that.
That's part of the reason why like such like the mid lane matchup is like super volatile if things like that are blown. Like Arya can set you up with that charm, and Syndra vice versa. If Arya's charm were blown or flash were blown, Syndra can set her Pantheon up for the QE. So I think whoever, like the mid jungle duo, whoever kind of works together more or like kind of plays off of these important timers more, will just end up on the top. I'm expecting Zeph to come back mid.
Yeah.
Or Siley, I'm sorry.
And that's where my thought is as well, because I believe, and maybe I'm misspeaking, so feel free to shut me up, but I believe that Clove and Cy William are like co-captains, as Zero Cole is going to fish for a hook, is going to be able to connect it onto the Amelia, going to get a damage with the Xayah. I might have to hold my thoughts. Looks at the end of the play. So I'm assuming if they're co-captaining, that they have a lot of games in together. Should have some experience kind of doing these mid-jungle ganks, whereas Zeph and Papa Doge, I believe this is their first time playing together, as Zero Cole gonna hit up the passive onto the Melio. Wasn't able to hit up the hook, but early pressure kind of go in the favor of Nautilus Xayah.
Yeah, kind of not what I expected to see, especially because Xayah's like super low range. But yeah,
But they
gonna
do
change
get level 2 on blue side, and they're gonna force Prize and Zero Cole off of this wave.
Yeah, really nice play, well played there from Thai and Amo. Really nice Q headshot.
Yeah, find junglers heading different directions here. Clear should be a little faster for Sejuani, but the wave not really in a great spot to make anything happen top lane. At K-Pack, I don't know, K-Pack, you were probably not going to be seeing your much this game, so hopefully you're going to get nice and familiar with your tower for sure. Could be a potential dive opportunity though, as Papa Doge gets a solid trade there onto Clove, going to get some decent damage off, and yeah, we see both junglers mirroring the paths here, skipping the red, going to Krugs. Very solid fundamental stuff. That's the stuff that excites me, of course, when nothing else is going on in the road.
And that
Stun, again, going to connect, and not a whole lot of damage though from Syndra. Papa Doge getting super low, has no flash. Going to have to be careful.
yeah, I mean Clove, if they do find the angle here, could just look for a charm flash combo. And then Syndra honestly couldn't do anything about it, except react. Which in that moment, like you're playing a competitive game, you're not really keeping track of like everything that's going on. I mean, could always slip in a nice solo kill. I think that would set Clove up really well in this Arya vs Syndra lane. Which I will admit, with the first strike with the Syndra, with the range differential, I'm not sure how Syndra's getting so hooked out. Yeah, maybe I'd like to see like Papa Doge getting, I guess, I don't know, caught up in the lane. Not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. We do see Cy William actually flashes in onto Papa Doge. Going to try and get the damage off here. Can they finish them off? Does get the stun there. Eventually, it's going to be traded over, though. It took too long to get those stacks. And it does end up being a 1-for-1.
Yeah. I mean, I think Cy William just kind of pops that E, waits for Clove to, at the very least, we'll have to blow flash. But I think just waits for Clove to back up with that charm. But, I mean, overall, it's still fine. Syndra misses a bit of the wave. Pantheon comes to catch it. Not the end of the world.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sejuani did pick up the kill. Probably not the prio, what you're looking for there. Hook is going to connect there from Zero Cole and stun, or into the root rather, forcing out the heal from Amo and the cleanse from Thigh High. Sejuani could potentially look to make a play down here. Is going to be on vision if they look to do it, but that ward will expire. Looks like they're just going to be heading towards their camps.
About 17 seconds on that ward. I mean, could come down after that wolf camp. High's playing very disrespectfully for no songs. Well, yeah, it has flash, but one hook and it's a disaster. Oh.
And that is going to be the hit up there now. Forcing the flash, followed through flash by both members of Isopod Island. Flash going to pay off for Prize. Able to pick up the kill there. Charm not going to connect on a Papa Doge. Back to the bot lane. Amo going to get forced out there. But yeah, I feel like Thigh High just kind of really setting up a free hook there for Nautilus by popping the Q. Really setting Zero Cola up to shine here as Dragon gets started up here by the side of Isopod Island.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of a blunder. Like, yeah, you're playing a really oppressive laner, but it doesn't make you immune. It doesn't make you invulnerable.
Oh, just in solid proficiency here on the Fiora, just chunking out K-Pack, potentially going to pick up a solo kill of their own, not going to look to force it. They don't want to trade over their life in the end. That is also Dragon picked up there by Isopod. This game's looking a lot better for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's bloody, but it's on their favor, so, I mean, it's like I'm saying, like, if you know K-Pack is just gonna play things, like, to just survive on, you give Porf these carries, these champions that can kind of thrive off of that, and you'll see him play a lot better.
And Syndra potentially gonna get forced out here. Does have to use a Spirit Rush. Is traded though with the Syndra R, but no kills on either side.
Yeah, super close to that execute, or it doesn't have an execute, but super close. One more ball on from that Syndra ult would have just killed Clove. Part of the reason why I don't love laning into Syndra, bit of an impressive laner. Has clear weaknesses though, but Papado's shining on that Syndra right now. The CS deficit, not too high, but it's still there.
Yeah, I mean, that's despite, you know, kind of the early lane, all the aggression being in favor of Clove. I mean, up 15 CS and has that kill. They're actually probably sitting a little bit prettier, all things considered here.
I would agree.
We do see Zeph on this top side. Grubs are spawning in a minute. I would really see Sejuani sack their camps here on the bot side to be up for this grub play. I mean, if you can get the 6, fantastic, but Porf with grubs feels really, really impossible to deal with. Maybe send Zero Cola up as well, try and get this bot wave shoved in. Or maybe none of that happens. We just end up giving over grubs to THOC.
I think that would be a really big misplay on the side of Isopod Island. I think you really need these grubs in order for your Fiora to really shine here. I don't see Fiora ever having too much of an impact in these team fights compared to the Ornn. I think you just really want to play for her. Get these grubs, get Fiora rolling, get her on these side towers, and just make sure that she's set up correctly. I think that's how Isopod plays it.
Cy William is listening, is walking up towards these grubs. One thing that I'm noticing real quick that I'm not sure how I really feel about it, that's a Hex Flash for Sejuani. That is the tech for sure. Gonna have our first 2v2 between mid jungle here. Zeph going to aggress onto Cy William. Gonna tank up a lot of damage though with that aftershock, with that chain CC charm, not gonna connect there from Clove, and Amo is the first support here. Zero Cola quickly there to follow. There is the healing in the pit though, so if this fight goes long, Hook not gonna connect there. Can Sejuani get a good ult if they are able to connect there onto Zeph? Going to get a lot of damage off, but the E from Panther gonna buy so much time. Fiora is now here, 4v4. Ornn is pretty far behind. Clove gonna get chunked out there by the Ahri, and now a massive Ornn is going to knock out multiple people. Porf cannot pick up a kill. Cy William having to flash, follow through flash by Papadosh. Can they get out this Sejuani? No, they cannot. Beats a Warfare over to the side of THOC, and now the play is just looking all blue side. I want to be able to pick up a kill as well onto Zero Cola. 3 for nothing goes that play.
Yeah, a bit of a misplay on the side of Isopod Island. I think Clove wasn't expecting the Syndra ult damage. Just got instantly popped as soon as they got hit by the, I think it was Syndra QE, and then just straight into the ults. Underestimating the Syndra damage, I think it just really set up the side of THOC there, being up a number as soon as the ult came down. And then Zeph, I don't know what he healed off of. Left the fight with like 200 HP and then ulted back in with about 800. I don't know what that was, but I think that also just kind of won them the fight as well. And then the missed Fiora ult. I believe Fiora ulted the Emilio. And then with the Ornn Hammer coming down, it's just really hard for them to play that.
Yeah. Play going really in favor of THOC. Again, I mean, we've kind of seen this in every single game. This time a little earlier. The supports just don't give a shit what's happening with their 80 carries. There's fighting over a ward. I gotta be a little careful here. Hook not gonna quite connect there. We've kind of seen this, like, it just takes one play that goes the way of THOC, and all of a sudden the Goldie kind of explodes up quite a bit. That being said, we're only 10 minutes in. This Fiora is working towards that first item. I think that's Ravenous Hydra. I think that's the rush on Fiora these days. Will be a problem for sure, but right now, Dragon spawning up in a minute. I would probably be giving this up if I am Isopod Island. I think you're down the gold. You don't have the items on anybody. I mean, granted, to be fair, THOC also has no completed items, but you got the first Dragon. I don't think it's worth putting yourself further behind. We'll see if they listen though.
To piggyback on what you're saying, Syndra has this Blackfire Gauntlet, or torch, whatever.
R is going to connect there onto the Emilio. This is a super squishy support. They are going to get chunked out. Their kill goes over to the Sejuani, unfortunately, but that could be your second dragon.
You know, I think part of the reason why Isopod has not been finding success in his games is because every time a play happens, Cy William ends up with the kill on a tank. And it's just really hard.
Yeah, you for sure don't want to see all that going as Zero Cola gonna get stunned up. Their charm is going to connect there onto Zeph. They are trying to aggress, but they don't hit up the Q. They need to get off this dragon now, though. A little bit of a leash potentially for blue side. You don't have the numbers here. Teleport, though, coming through from Porf, and actually, they are going to force this, but the dragon aggro is going down. You got to get back on this if you're looking to force this play. You've sent your top laner down. You have to make this 4v5 happen, but with low health bars, how do you make this happen? Porf now has to run away, and just like that, they're going to get forced off, and the dragon is ultimately still going to get picked up by the side of THOC.
If I'm Isopod, that feels so bad. That feels very, very bad. Syndra just did such a good job of chunking everybody out there and just maintaining control in that little side bush in the river. If I'm Isopod, that's a very frustrating play, because not only did you lose teleport on Fiora, you've given over 2 plates, or I guess 1.5, over to K-Pack, who was losing the lane, but with that plate gold is now even.
Yeah. Porf now finding themselves in 1v1 with Zeph up in this top lane, trying to save the Crocs. Mission failed, and they lose all their HP. Ornn has no mana, so can't really punish it too much. But yeah, I mean, 2k gold difference, evened up in the dragons, all the grubs in favor of THOC, and again, this game is looking very, very good for the highest of Crocs.
Yeah, and even though it's 4-3 for kill count, I just...
Actually, maybe hold... Okay, there's no play. Just a little hook.
Yeah, even though it's 4-3, the game looks in favor of THOC so hard. Like, sure, Zaya's 1-0, but this Syndra and Pantheon are so monstrously ahead, it's gonna be so hard to just take them down. Syndra's already on her Blackfire Torch.
Yeah, I was going to comment on this, but I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm getting flashbacks to game number 2 of the Crab Rave Camel Core series. I think they were on the Skarner that game, but Cy William rushing the Warmogs and getting all the kills. Little bit of a bad omen for sure. I'll just hold that thought as Ornn going to use the Ornn Horn, going to get dodged out there by Fiora. So not really an extended play there, but yeah, I just am not. Maybe I'm just not a knower of the Warmogs rush. Oh, what a prediction on the flash! Massive play there. I'll shut up. Shut down over to Cy William again. And now actually maybe back to the top side. There is no Ornn Horn W. The repost was maybe not up there for the E, and now we're using the Fiora R trying to get all those vitals. Does get the healing off. Now we're back to the bot side into a 2v2. Caitlyn has nowhere to go. Heal gets popped there. Pantheon coming over the top. Does have to go in onto the Xayah. Zero Cola trying to get the damage off onto the Caitlyn. Is going to be picked up there by the Nas in from Prize. Can they get out in time? W should be coming up here soon for Zeph. Going to be able to pick up that kill. And now we got Zero Cola going to fall as well. Ends up being a 2-for-1 in the end. Double kill over to this Pantheon.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe we're not done here yet. A dive onto K-Pack. You'll have to hold that thought. Get an interrupt there. Cy William is taking out the tower. Will fall here. Give it over to the Fiora. Finally a kill over to a carry. Now you can go ahead.
Am I going ahead?
Yeah.
This is Syndra.
Oh, maybe I'll repost perfectly timed there by Porf on Papa Doge, trying to get the execute, not going to get the damage off. And now for sure you've got the opportunity to talk.
Okay. What was I even gonna say? Oh god, that play lasted so long. I don't know. Isopod, like, Cy William predicted that flash really well. I don't know, like, either it was prediction or Papa Doge kind of just like.
Great charm there from Clove. I'm glad you had 4 seconds to give thoughts.
Okay. Well played by Isopod. Sucks that Sejuani got it. It is what it is, but I really like how proactive their kind of play are on the map. Diving this Ornn without the ult, really well played. The bot lane fight, even though Seth got 2 kills, they did end up trading that with Caitlyn's life. I think good plays around that. Nice way of trying to claw back into it.
Yep. Good play there from Zero Cold to get out. Charm going to connect there onto Zeph. Does have the Amelia healing, so not going to be hurting too badly. 15 minutes in, gold lead about 1,000. Going to have ourselves a potentially honest 4v4 up at the Rift Herald. Not sure if I'm looking to go too hard in here, but Cy William is telling me to eat my words. Gets up the damage up onto this Pantheon. Going to do a lot of damage, but you don't have the Ari here just yet. Nautilus is getting chunked out. Oranhorn comes through over the top, only going to be able to hit up on Sejuani. Meanwhile, we see Fiora and Syndra up on the top side fighting in a one-on-one. Fiora going in with the R, trying to get the damage off onto Syndra. Can they get the vital proc? They need to get the healing off, but it's not going to be enough. There is no reinforcements. Goes in, able to pick up the kill eventually, but Pantheon able to get that kill. Now on a rampage, 1-for-1 overall. Orange trying to get the root, not going to be able to knock him up. Pantheon going to get charmed out of their W. Maybe we see this fight continue, maybe not.
If I know these teams, which I feel like I do, this fight's continuing.
Yeah, low health bars, doesn't matter. Dash in from Cy William, just goes in. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. This bot tower has low-key been getting wailed on by Thigh High, going to get the damage off. Dragon is now spawning on the bot side, and so maybe they're trying to sneak this. Pantheon is on the top side, working on the Gromp. Could just be a trade of objectives here.
Yeah, I don't think they know. Ornn is just TPing away. Yeah, I don't hate this call. Stacking dragons is never a bad thing. I love stacking dragons. You're playing away from your strong condition, which I feel like Fiora is a strong condition this game. But I think it's fine overall. Dragon stacking on Fiora is fine too. She's a great scaler. I don't remember, did they get, they didn't get grubs, which kind of sucks for the Fiora, but overall, I think she's still in a fine spot, especially taking this Infernal Dragon so she can bully Kate back a bit more. Other than that, really well played there by Clove. Syndra was on the last Vital, and Papadoge played really well, staying near that wall, staying away from Porf to make sure that Vital didn't proc, but eventually falls to the random Ari Charm. And I feel like that kind of played the fight out a little bit longer, because that little heal gave Porf a single extra second, which got Cy William and Zero Cola out of that fight before they died as well.
Yep. And all that being said, bot tower fell to Caitlyn, top tower fallen to Orange Syndra. 2 dragons, but about a 2,000 gold lead in favor of the highest of Crocs.
I mean, they're just playing the game really well. A few mechanical misplays, but I think THOC is just playing this game super well, especially Zeph. Like, if I'm going to give an MVP at all for this series, I think it would have to be Zeph. Papadoge has been playing super well, has been putting out numbers and putting out the damage, but I think Zeph has been exactly where they've needed to be every single play. Like that bot play, a straight 2v2, but Zeph just Pantheon ults down, cleans it up.
Yeah, I think Zeph has been playing super well here. I think Papadoge has had a pretty solid series. I think, yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty strong just team effort from the highest of Crocs. That being said, they still got game 3 here to finish out. Yeah. And very winnable here for Cy William, who I think will actually maybe after all I thought Pantheon R comes in, going to dash away from the second Ornn. Can they repost the stun? No, they cannot. Gonna get stunned up here. Flash into the repost, and now if you are trying to fight in the 2v1, it does look like they're gonna fall here. K-Pack able to pick up that kill.
Yeah, a bit of a bonk. The bonk, still going over to K-Pack.
Zero Cola going in, gets the R off onto Papadoge, who is going to have to force out the flash. Prize is already low, and Caitlyn just deleting Caitlyn on the top side, and now the stun going to connect there onto Nautilus, will be the next to fall. Ace in the hole, going to finish him off. Double kill for this Caitlyn, and this mid tower is going to be the next to fall with the Rift Herald, and now this gold lead is going to start to balloon up to 4,000. This fight, again, is continuing. It is in the favor of THOC. Mid tower going to get whiffed on there by the Melio. Cannot drive, take away their license. Unstoppable is Pantheon. Zeph picking up another kill, not going to kill the Sejuani, but this mid tower will eventually fall, and they'll get one more chance at a charge. Don't let the Melio drive it. This time your Caitlyn's driving it. It was a much more straight shot, so they're able to pick up the tower. Gold lead up to about 6K. Very strong stuff, and now those bounties are live.
Yeah, that play just ballooned THOC and deflated Isopod's chances of winning. The Pantheon sitting at 5-0-3, has like 1,300 in base. Caitlyn has almost 2,000 in base. It's probably sitting on what, 2 items now? Infinity Edge completed, I would assume. Just so
yeah, should be
so ahead of the Xayah. It's gonna be so hard for Isopod to even play the game now. To play any fights.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing a little greedily.
So there were some like mind games for sure there. The Kate was starting the reset, and then Sedge Nautilus like stopped moving
Mhm.
on a word, and so then Caitlyn stopped their reset. But they I don't know. They could have just finished off the reset, but
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah, what do I know?
I feel like we've seen this every game. It's just like there's one play, like things are going fine for Isopod Island, and then it just falls apart in one play, and then the gold lead balloons, and then it's like super hard to come back from. We'll see if third time is maybe the charm for for them in terms of coming back from that game state. Maybe they look to make a play on this Ornn. Dragon should be up here in just about a minute. There is on the dot a minute. I don't think you want to fight this. I think you're down too much gold. I think you try to maybe look on Ornn, which is a lot easier said than done, but that's really the only like cross map play you can make.
I have to agree with you. I don't think Isopod even tries to fight this dragon. I think if they fight this dragon and then lose the fight, which is likely so, they're putting themselves in a hole that they can't dig themselves out of at all.
I mean, that's a good force of summoners on the Caitlyn. I still don't think you fight the dragon, but that is something to punish in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
Sedge is resetting though, so
I-
maybe they're looking for it.
I mean, I know that we said that they could cross map, but like Ornn has just pushed out top, so and while Fiora is still there, it's kind of hard because how long does Dragon need? I would assume like 40-45 seconds, or no, it's sitting on 30. So yeah, it looks like Sejuani's mapping down. It would be a hard play to make for sure.
I mean, dragon gonna be spawning up now. Sejuani, this is technically your side of the jungle, but it is not yours right now. So many blue bodies are in here. Again, I just don't see how they look to contest this, but this is also kind of that spot where, like, if you go for the cross map play, you're kind of just giving up the Atacon. Unfortunate spawn side there if you are a Isopod fan. So they are just gonna have to give the dragon. It will be the second Infernal over to THOC with this Caitlyn, with this Syndra. Is a little
Yeah.
scary. They are able to pick up the mid turret, so a little bit of a consolation prize.
Yeah. 2 Infernals. What soul is it? Does it say?
Uh,
I don't see it.
you said for what soul? It's Infernal.
So yeah, I mean, with Infernal Soul and the rest of the dragons now being Infernal, if I'm Isopod, I really don't want Syndra Kate to have them. Syndra is already pumping so much damage, and a Kate with 3 Infernals plus Infernal Soul, any headshot, any of your champions are dead. So I think it's really hard to give them any more dragons than this.
Cy William is fishing here, just reminding them that they're there, not looking to aggress too hard. We do see Zeph is soloing the Atacon. Black or Papa Doge with Blackfire is there, not doing a ton of damage. I do think you have to give this up if you're Isopod, but it doesn't look like they're interested in doing that. Your Sedge is tanky. Does have those 2 items. It is down to 5,000 though. Porf is pushing on the spot wave. There really is no way for Sejuani to get in here though. Down to 3,000, 2,000. Ornar is blocked. Blue side able to pick it up. Porf tried to go in for the steal. They are going to have to flash out though. And now just like that, they could be falling here as well. Ace in the hole, not going to pick up the kill with the collector, but that's a Kate, or that's a Fiora flash down. That is Atacon picked up. Really good stuff.
Yeah, disrespectful to just take it from right out of their noses, but I mean they're in such a position to do so that it really doesn't matter. That I honestly don't like that Isopod stay there to even try to contest it. Like they blew a Sejuani ult, they blew Fiora flash. For an objective they knew they probably had like 0 chances to get anyway. I would have liked to see somebody go top, somebody to get these sideways pushing a bit harder, just to maybe get some structure damage. But and again, I'm a spectator.
Yeah, it's
bit
for
hard.
sure easier for us in the top down view.
Yeah.
To sit and judge, right? You know, we lost like 4 comp series in a row together, so like who are we to talk? Ever. Not tomorrow though, not tomorrow. Yeah, right now things are looking pretty good for THOC. They're up about 4,000. You're gonna maybe try and work on this bot turret, but this Ornn has gotten very tanky, has that Sunfire, has the Thornmail, has upgraded the armor boots. So they're gonna be really tough to deal with. Because the only AP damage is on this Ahri, who's not really that big of a threat. So yeah, really good stuff here. Again, K-Pack, low key, not an MVP consideration, but has played really well given the circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, CS differences coming out, but I think this one death is fine, especially for like the rank differential that is clear. Every opportunity Prof has tried, K-Pack has kind of just been like, I'm not gonna let you have it.
Yeah, pretty much. And just the that mere threat of Pantheon gonna send the Fiora the other direction. Papa Doge maybe getting caught out there. Are not gonna from the Sejuani. They're trying to get the damage off. There is save. Your Syndra picking up that kill. This one given over to the Ari. Smart there. Papa Doge to not really waste their flash or anything like that, or K-Pack to waste TP. Just accept you got caught out.
Yeah. You don't have a bounty, so I don't think it's worth you trying to protect it that hard. I think dedicating a Born TP and a Syndra flash just isn't worth it. You don't have no bounty, just accept it.
Fiora is going to use the R here onto the... Going to do a lot of damage. Repost not available. Going to get knocked up there anyway. But this Fiora is actually pumping. All things considered, could look to go under the tower here. Wave is pretty dead, though. And so probably just going to look to force on the spot lane turret as Ornn resets.
Yeah, I mean, that Fiora is sitting on 2 items. She's starting to really hurt this Ornn who has, like, I don't know, like 300 armor? Something like that? Yeah, 330 armor. Even so, like, just really just ignoring the armor, just shredding straight through him. If Porf, I don't know. I said before, I don't think Fiora is a really great team fighter, unless she's piloted by like her best players. But Porf has really been showing a great demonstration of Fiora. So I think if maybe they turn up to the team fight, it could look playable, but it's a bit hard. Really weird either. Cy William.
Yeah, I
For
think
funsies.
this for funsies a little bit for sure. This could be a really good dragon opportunity, I think, for them. As actually I was told that thought is Cy William is going to walk into the Pantheon. A lot of damage, but they are Sedge. They've got that Warmogs. It will heal them back up to full. But with the Ornn Horn not quite up yet, they could have looked to force a fight, but instead they're going to send Fiora top, try to pummel this tier 2 top, maybe get a kill on the Syndra.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
where my eyes are currently at, as Dragon just going to be giving up.
Yeah, I think this is very greedy by Papa Doge.
Yeah.
I think Fiora just takes the tower. Yeah.
Just takes the tower. Sejuani gonna force out the flash of the Syndra. I was thinking there for a second they could have maybe gone to go for Baron as the other team went to Dragon, but instead, just gonna get that tier 2 top. Gold lead down to under 2,000. So they are clawing their way back in, but again, that soul, that ticking time bomb, 5 minutes. Isopod Island gonna have to find some way to deal with that.
Yeah. That soul on Kate with an upgraded Infinity Edge with the Syndra. The Sork Shoes is so hard. It'll be so hard for your carries to even try to do damage.
And now Baron gonna get started up by the highest of Crocs. Sejuani stopped their reset, so they are here. They are gonna get spotted out on this far site though. It is down to 7,000. We are just gonna get a full-blown 5v5 here potentially. Porf has teleported in. 5,000 on the Baron. 4,000. They are peeling off. They have forced out the TP. That is a win in of itself. Massive flash in there from Elmo. Maybe the 6th man for Isopod there with the 5-man Nautilus engage, but there's no continued follow-up.
I wasn't giving Jack off ammo, but I think he just trolled his team.
Yeah, just literally flashing on everybody. Fiora's going to push on his mid tier 2, and now Zeph is caught out. Has a massive shot. Yes, again, it does go over to Zai here in the end. Now Prize go. Zero Cola has no ult, but they are all funneled here, and they get the kill. No, they do not. Not quite. Flash forced out. Heal forced out. Melio are forced out, but there is no jungle. You could just like to go off Baron here. Clovis pushing in the mid lane. This is completely split. Zero Cola trying to go in onto the scale. Not able to pick up the kill. It's onto both members, and Caitlyn is just free firing here. Flash in for Sejuani onto the backside. Trying to Caitlyn. So absolutely split. Ari going in for your run shot onto this Ornn. Cannot get the damage. Prize is forced out. Clove is low HP. So many low HP bars across the board, but it is going all the way of Isopod. Double kill for Caitlyn. 3 for 1, I think, is your final kill count there.
Yeah, really back and forth team fight. I do think the side of Isopod could have done Baron, but I also like that they took this fight. A lot of the shutdowns that were on the side of THOC were taken and were claimed by carries that could really use the gold right now. Xayah blew no sums in that team fight and got I think it was like 1,000? Was it 1,000?
1,000.
It was a really big shutdown on Zeph, who's playing a champion that doesn't scale at all.
Yeah.
So I think for the side of Isopod, even though they didn't get Baron, I think it's a very acceptable win for the fight.
And now that gold lead, they are in the driver's seat. Now of course that doesn't take into account the value of the dragons. So it's pretty even in terms of like actionable gold, and they are gonna have to fight the soul. But considering they were down 6,000 not that long ago, they've clawed their way back in. This Fiora now on the Hullbreaker, they are a problem. The Xayah sitting on 3 items. This Sejuani, super hard to deal with. I mean, we talked about the Cy Williams Sejuani heading in. Maybe can take I don't know. These fights are so close. That last one in particular, Zero Cola, just throwing out the hook for fun.
Yeah, this is a warning shot. This is my river.
Warning shot, yeah. Gonna head up the stun there though. Onto 2 members there. Dragon should be spawning something like 2 minutes, something around there, maybe a little less. We're totally just judging or gauging it on a guess based on the HUD. I mean, it's
where would I find that? How do I do this?
It's
Interface?
interface, like the interface tab on the left. No, like all
interface.
the way left. Yeah. Mini map scale up at the top. You also don't have to.
100?
Yeah, no, it would go the other way. Yeah, it would be like going down. Yeah, minute 17. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I have
So-
to put it back. Unless you want me to.
No, I mean that's fine. It's fine. So it's a minute. That's really all we need to know. It's when it's spawning. So they got about a minute. We'll see. I mean, THOC could go for a play where they give up the dragon, play for Baron. I don't know if I like that trade necessarily. They have the vision set up, but Isopod have that one control word in the back, so they'll know if THOC try to do that. And it looks like THOC's gonna have second move into this dragon.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Isopod can catch any Fed member of, well, I guess it's all of them, any member of the side of THOC, like unaware, and with that Sejuani ult with the Ari charm, I think it would be really easy for them to catch a pick.
As talking about a pick, Papa Doge gets the stun up there onto Ari, is going to force out the Ari and just goes pop. I did not think that damage was going to come through, but that Syndra damage was insane. Absolutely massive pick here before this dragon, and you can already see they are abandoning this dragon. They're giving up the soul, and they're just going to rush out to this Baron. I like this call a lot as we have a 1v1 in the top side. Ornn versus Fiora, forcing out the flash from the Ornn. I don't think that's going to save you, though. You're going to fall eventually. Killing spree here for Port, and depending on how long this takes, we do see Papa Doge is actually going off for the reset. Really smart stuff there. They have to go up the soul, and that is going to hurt like hell, but they get the Baron and a kill as the consolation.
Yeah, I think splitting them up.
Oh, maybe Zeph a bit aggressive here, goes in, takes a lot of damage. They are going to try and run this out. I don't think you want to stick around here too long. Smart stuff here from Isopod.
Yeah, I like the cross-map trading. A bit unfortunate that Clove gets caught out before the dragon. It is what it is. Soul is for THOC. I like the Baron take the immediate peel over to Baron. I think that was very smart, because if you don't, I think THOC will just take that Baron as well right under your noses. I like the peel away over to Baron and the solo kill there on Porf. I really like what they're doing here with Porf. They're just kind of trying to predict where the Ornn will match to force him to deal with the Fiora. Because realistically, if Syndra was matching Fiora, there's no way Fiora is touching a tower. And I don't think THOC is realizing that quick enough.
Yeah, now we see this kind of 1-3-1 with the Baron. Of course, Clove does not have the Baron, so probably going to be better off just kind of shoving out that wave top than joining the rest of their team mid lane. But yeah, Fiora going to force 2 people to come their way, and that gives opportunity for the rest of the team to push elsewhere. Porf, though, maybe forcing out too many people here. It is going to be 1v3 stun. Is there able to connect? Forcing out the flash. They are going to get out with the Syndra. Are not being able to pick up the kill. Zeph flashes in, not able to pick up the kill. Now Clove is teleported as well. Zero Cola going in by themselves on the backside. They have to run this one out. This fight is super split. Fiora has the teleport. They are healing and coming back in. Has to get out. They are super low. Porf is coming back in with the Baron with a health reset. No kills there.
Yeah, super close to catching Porf there, but a really well timed you. Oh, nice.
Horn is up though, gonna pop it now. Potentially a 5-man play. Ace in the hole, connect onto the KO. Not gonna get a whole lot off there. Xayah, can they pull back the feathers? They are gonna be able to pick up this Ornn. That is the first kill down. No wave though to continue. Just this cannon gonna slowly wail on this turret. Smite to try to kill it. Nah, it's not gonna do it. Yeah, and now maybe send people back towards this mid lane. Keep the majority of your members on this bot lane turret. Really smart macro here from Isopod Island. Should be able to pick up this turret here. Prize gets extremely chunked out there, though. Gonna have to be careful.
Yeah, they need to be careful. Be very, very smart about where Papa Doge is. Papa Doge can blow up most of the carry, well, all of them actually on the side of Isopod Island. Maybe not Fiora, but you have to really watch where the Syndra is. One QE could spell disaster for the side of Isopod.
Yeah.
Worth just
Not be able to hit
taking
the
it.
stun there. Doesn't care. Is low here though. You're gonna have to run out. You don't have the flash. Syndra does have ultimates. That is scary. And now your really strong member is not around. I think you gotta cut your losses. Well, not losses. You're up 5k. But don't force the issue here. Clove gets hit up there by the stun. Is going to have to use a Spirit Rush flash. Use there on the Caitlyn very aggressively.
Yeah.
And that should be the end of this Baron play.
You never know. These two teams have been really like neck and neck. Even when Isopod has been down, they've been willing to take a fight, which I guess in its own right is a skill. You're confident enough to just hand stiff your opponent that you'll just take a fight anyway.
Yeah. Gold lead about 5k. Actually, you know, what's that, like 1k difference because you got the soul. And at this point in the game, 1k, not really that big of a difference. So all in all, pretty much an even game. Elder should be in like 2-ish minutes because the Baron just expired. Gonna see the vision control. Nautilus gonna try and hold this line. Yeah, ooh, the producer just sending us on a trip.
Hey, let's go to the kites.
Seeing the kites. Caitlyn maybe caught up here a little bit. Cy William could be fishing for a Sejuani R. Is getting pinged out there though. So they must have, yeah, they do have vision there. Don't think we're gonna see a whole lot else happen before this Elder, unfortunately. Well, maybe not, because that gives me a chance to breathe for sure.
Yeah, take a quick breath. Oh.
Maybe no time as Zero Cola just gets absolutely deleted. It's just your support down there. No time. William dashes in on a 1v5. Very aggressive here. Is eventually going to get popped. Your prize, though, is all by themselves. Does it get the kill off on his half and port? Trying to get the kill on Caitlyn. Not going to be able to do it, though. Clove has to use a Spirit Rush to get out. Ace in the hole over the top. Going to do a ton of damage. And now forcing out the flash. Can the Oranhorn pick up the fadeaway kill into the stopwatch? Will eventually fall here. Going to pick up the kill is K-Pack. And all that is left is William and Prize. They are low. They are dangerously close to dying. They are going to get out, but that is a lot of tools used before this Elder.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't... Like, say, William, you are tanky, but you are not that tanky. Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe he was seeing something that I didn't going in there, but I guess a bit of an overzealous commitment by Cy William there on the Sejuani.
I mean, low-key, maybe he was that tanky because he was able to get out.
I mean, barely.
Yeah, barely. That being said, play went in favor of THOC. The ult going to connect onto Papa Doge. Does not have a flash. Does have Amelia, though, in their pocket. Gonna get chunked out here, and Prize is able to survive. Hook does connect there onto Caitlyn, but your Xayah is super low, and now teleport coming through from Port. They're trying to go with the camp. Flashing from Xayah. They are going in. They are running away from Zeth. They're getting the damage off that they can. Caitlyn goes down. Melio should be the next to fall here on the wrong side of the rift. Teleport now coming through from the Ahri. And now Amo is trying to run away. You are not outrunning this Fiora. Ball is going to hit them in the face, but they will eventually fall here. It is just a matter of time. And what is the answer here from Isopod Island? Elder has spawned. Zeph is up on the other side of the map, so they are going to be able to pick this up for free.
Yeah, really well played there by Isopod, just kind of turning. That really nice Cy William ult, or Sejuani ult, sorry, on Cy William on Papa Doge. In my opinion, the key person to target here in these fights. Every single fight that's been going wrong for Isopod has been because Papa Doge has just been annihilating the entire back line. So, really well played there by Cy William, making sure that the Syndra stays locked down, is bursted before they can do any type of damage to your Xayah. Well, she did do damage, and Xayah loses her GA because of it, but they just end up winning the fight just because of Syndra getting taken down so early. But on the counter side, yeah, I mean...
Get the Baron, and Pantheon's going to fall here too. Just greeting for stuff on the other side of the map, stealing Crocs at 40 minutes. Not worth dying for. We'll have to...
We'll VOD review it.
We'll VOD review it.
I was gonna compliment Zeph there for taking that top tower when everything was so cooked bot lane. Didn't notice him overstaying for the Crocs. Definitely ruins the moment for me a bit, but nice try, nice try. That's all I can say. Nice try.
Pantheon down for 30. You got the 4-1 here. I like this call from Isopod. It takes multiple people to go deal with this this Fiora, which means that the rest of your members have that advantage mid lane. Pretty strong fundamental stuff. Caitlyn Trap's not going to keep Porf out.
Oh
Flash
my
in there, very
God.
aggressive, just going to delete this Caitlyn. But no, they're not going to fall. With the Triumph,
Super close.
picking up the kill on the Caitlyn.
Oh?
It is close, and eventually the burn does pick up the kill. That is pretty massive for the
huge.
side of THOC. They just might have a shot in this game because of that.
Yeah, I think the Death Stance burn was way too much. I think Porf just needed to auto attack a minion and they would have lived, but
That being said, they still have the Elder. It is 4v4, and your Kate is down. That being said, not a whole lot of consistent damage as Stun going to connect there on a Zero Call. It does get down to about half HP, but Charm does connect there onto Papadosh. Has to fly out.
they
Playing with a little bit too much fire here on this Syndra.
yeah, I mean, they do still have other... Oh, but Clip...
And now Zeph goes in, able to not get the kill onto the Ahri, and this Elder should be still up here, so if they can get a kill here, this could just be game over for the side of Isopod Island. They are funneling into this corridor. Prize is zoned off, gets deleted as a Zero Cola. Side William is on the stuck in a 1v4. They are tanky, but they are not that tanky. No Spear Rush on the side of Ahri. They are going to fall here too, and despite the Elder buff being up, I think with the triple kill from Zeph, can THOC win this game?
I think, with 5 champions up on the enemy side, I don't see how Porf can hold this. I don't even know how that fight went so badly. Like, they had Elder, they had Baron buff, but it still went so badly.
I mean, they were funneled into that corridor, into an Ornn, into a Syndra. Porf gonna try and do what they can. They
Could be a
have
clip.
to kill themselves for the wave. They
This
cannot.
could be a clip.
I mean, yeah,
Could be a clip.
This
Who
could-
knows?
it could be. Porf going in, trying to do the damage that they can. You have to repost off. They are able to stun up Zeph under the tower, but it's not going to be enough. They
No.
are deleted by Papa Doge.
Yeah.
1v5, not the best odds for sure. And despite it looking so good for Red Side during that game, it ends up being a 3-0 series win for the highest of Crocs.
Yeah, I mean, well played just by THOC. Their first showing, really strong impression there by the highest of Crocs. Sorry. I will see if they want to do any type of interviews. I really hope they do, because that was a really fun series to watch. And damage graphs again, like at the end of the game, Papado's doing 40,000 on that Syndra. Zep doing 36, and I had doing that 36,000 on the Caitlyn. It's like we said, once that Baron, or once that the what's it called, 3 Infernal Souls with the Infernal Dragons, just way too much damage coming out from the side of THOC. It was a really good look though by Isopod. The macro with playing around with the Fiora side lanes was really nice to watch. Despite the early game shenanigans, one might say, it was a really good look by Isopod.
Yeah, I mean, that game for sure I thought was going the way of Isopod there at the end, but just, yeah, something happened with that fight with Elder, with Baron. Your Fiora dying to, I guess that was like the Infernal. Like, I'm not even entirely sure what exactly killed Fiora there at the end. But it is that 4v4 and your strongest member is dead. So really good stuff there from the side of THOC. They win the fight and they just bust it down mid lane and win the game.
Yeah, really nice showing. We do have prize coming from Isopod Island and Papa Doge coming from the highest of Crocs for interview. Let's see. Wait, we have prize here first, and then I'll go ahead and pull Papa Doge. We can also pull K-Back as well from the highest of Crocs. We'll do 2. We can do 2. I'm not gonna deny anybody their spot on the interview. Right. Hello.
Yo.
All right, Les, you wanna
Yeah.
start out?
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome into the casters booth here. I guess we'll start with THOC. Congratulations on your 3-0 series win. Of course, you guys didn't play your week 1 game for reasons that I'm not aware of. But how
we were getting held back.
getting held back. Interesting phrasing. tell me about this series tonight, because this is your guys' first games. You look pretty solid. Um, how's everything feeling?
I'll let K-Bot go first.
Overall, I mean, everything felt pretty well. It was definitely just kind of, at least for me, just kind of playing with people way above my skill level, just trying to match it as much best as possible. Like playing well for my team and not inting inting top lane and making it hell for them.
You did good.
And then,
I mean, I think
I
you
guess
did
over to you,
really well.
Papadosh. Oh yeah, I mean, we were for sure calling it out at one point during the cast. I think it was during the Kasante Nar matchup. How, despite you kind of being left out for dead in an island up there, like Porf wasn't really able to accelerate at all into you. And so definitely kudos were given for just kind of like playing into that pretty effectively.
Yeah, Porf certainly gave me the works. He was fun to play against. His Fiora was crazy.
And then what about you, Papa Doge?
Um, it was a pretty fun series. Like obviously you guys know I'm an Anivia player, so it was pretty cool to go in and get checked by my main a couple times. Like we won't talk about the game one egg duel that went wrong. As I
No,
flame everyone,
we will.
as I commonly flame people in solo Q4, it happens to some of us too. But all in all, I mean, obviously I thought that Isopod scaled up as the night went on. For sure, that game 3 they made us work really hard for it. So definitely kudos to them.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like you said, for sure. I'd be recommending going back to like 11-20 game one. Making sure to
Okay,
just like make sure to VOD review a little bit.
I like we don't need to do that.
Well, maybe just like a little bit though. No, I mean, you for sure had pretty strong games throughout. I guess my next question comes right to the end of that game number 3. Like, can you tell me what the comms were like? Because they have Elder, they have Baron, Fiora. Their Fiora dies to the air from the Caitlyn.
Yeah.
Like who's calling to fight in that spot?
So I'm not I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't know Kate and Fiora were fighting until I saw
Oh,
I got the in-game well, yeah, like sometimes you just like focus on other things. So when my Caitlyn died and so did the Fio, I was a little like in shell shock. Um and then the comms were a little hectic. We were calling the turtle really hard because they're sitting on double epic buffs, and it's pretty rough to be in that spot. But we found a really lucky angle to sort of claw our way out of that situation, um, and we were really we had to work for it, but we found the spot and we took advantage, and all in all it paid off, and that's why we were able to kind of close that one out. Albeit, it could have gone either way.
yeah. I mean, it for sure could have gone either way. Thigh High in the chat, by the way, Dream is saying that it was Death's Dance off the tower shot.
Yeah,
Is
that's what I was
so
saying. It was definitely Death
Oh,
Dance. It was Death Dance.
absolutely,
that is crazy.
yeah, crazy. Because yeah, I mean, basically Fiora like flashed in with the Elder, like two tapped Kate, but then just kind of fell afterwards to the I guess Death Dance.
Yeah.
So really crazy stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Any questions for THOC Dream?
For THOC, not really questions. Just like you guys played really well. Watching your games, it looked really clean. Like I think game 3, it didn't really necessarily fall apart. I think you just kind of got choked up a little bit when you saw like the Fiora. She was a big menace, and that's not necessarily like anybody's like K-Pac. I think did exceptionally well. Just kind of like neutralizing Porf, making sure that Porf doesn't get too snowbally off of them specifically. I just think you guys just kind of got taken aback by the Fiora being as strong as she was, but you just pivoted really well, and I think you just played really well tonight for THOC.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I guess now we can kind of pivot over to Prize, 80 carry of Isopod Island. Appreciate you coming on despite the series not going your guys' way. What are your initial thoughts? Coming off that last game and just kind of the series in general.
For the series in general, I mean, They just played really well as a team. It's kind of hard to play the game. Felt like they had vision everywhere. It's like they were just always together, right? So like anytime you try to make a play, it's like you're getting 4 or 5 man collapsed on. They're just really good rotations. They were saying their comms are like hectic. I think one of our issues is just like there really aren't any, and when we do have comms, they're kind of conflicting. So like one person is doing something, somebody else is doing something else. So it's just kind of hard to play. But yeah, they played really well. Game 3 specifically, the last fight you were talking about. I was kind of split because like we weren't really trying to fight there, but then like people were fighting, and so I was like, I was gonna just walk around and try to like come group back up with my team, but then like they were still fighting, and it was just kind of like nobody really knew what they wanted to do, so kind of just got stuck and died for free, which is really embarrassing. But yeah, they just played really good.
I mean, I don't think you guys should be like down or like embarrassed about anything that you guys did. Like you both definitely had really good plays. I think you guys were both really strong contenders. I just think, like you said, THOC rotated around really well. I was really impressed by their rotation.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
we just
I was like,
showed
is
DC.
that it?
Oh, did I just DC?
Yeah, just for like a couple
FF.
seconds. We heard like don't be down, and then
Oh fuck.
white noise.
Basically, I was just agreeing with you. I think you guys played really well. I don't think you should be down or like be like upset that you lost. Like you said, THOC played really well with their map rotations. They just kind of like showed up out of nowhere and just came to take a fight with you. But that's pretty much
Oh,
what
you
I
guys played good. You guys played good.
Yeah, I mean, especially, I mean, I really like that one play from you, particular prize in that last game where Pantheon like R's in, and you kind of just say like, for lack of a better term, I think we're late enough in the stream. I can say it. You're like, fuck it, I'm flashing away from the Panth. I'm going down towards everyone else because it's like you're either running in or you're dying to Panth anyway. I liked the aggression. I that game 3 was real. I mean, all the games were really fun to watch. There was like definitely moments in all of them, but that game 3 in particular, was really kind of on like a razor's edge. And even just up to the very end, it wasn't clear who exactly was gonna win. Like I thought it was gonna be you guys. So despite being 0-3, I mean, again, it's a long season. Only have to make top 4 to make the playoffs. And I think, like I said, with the standings, I think everyone's in like a pretty crazy even spot because now THOC is 3-3, you guys are 2-4. The Mormons, that's not a great way to phrase that. They're 3-3 now. It's like pretty
It's
pretty
not
even
good.
across the board. Yeah. So, really fun stuff here so far through 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
for
want
sure.
plays. Really want fun games to watch and cast. I'm happy I casted. Sorry about like all the hiccups for everybody, but I literally got home and somebody was like, "You're casting the games at 9, right?" And I was like, "I wasn't planning on it, but I guess we are now." But I'm happy we did. That was really fun to watch. You both looked really great out there. Really fun.
Thank you. It was a good time. Glad we finally got to play as well.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, that was the
we
biggest
came into
thing.
this. We came into this with literally we all just met for the first time today, for the most part. As far as I'm aware, at least for me, I hadn't met any of the gamers until about an hour before. So, it felt really good to click, you know, with people you don't know. It's just kind of one of those fun things. Yeah, that's what a draft league is. You just don't know who you're gonna be with. Sometimes you don't know the people you're gonna be, you know, who you're gonna play the game with, and things could be totally clicked or totally all over the place. But it's really cool that 5 people were able to get together and just do something pretty exciting. So
Agreed. But Les, did you have any other questions, like comments, anything like that? I'm pretty.
No, I mean, I've kind of got nothing. Like I said,
Yeah.
it was really fun series to watch. Guys went the distance, little 3-hour session. Hopefully, if you go back and rewatch, hopefully you enjoy the yapping. And no, I mean, I've got nothing else. I don't know if Dream's got nothing else. I'm sure we'll see you guys this upcoming week. I don't think any games have been posted. Well, actually, I guess our game's been posted for Wednesday. I'm not sure if any others are on the table just yet. But yeah, should be another exciting week coming up of LBL action.
Yeah. K-Pack, Prize, Papadoji, you guys have anything else you want to add before we dip out?
GG's no
Yeah,
surprise, nice
GG's.
Isopod.
Yeah, I
It's a
don't have
very
anything
fun
to
time.
say.
Pretty much it.
Oh, I do want to say, K-Pac, you're welcome for all the coaching sessions. We set
Yeah,
you up
yeah,
with
yeah.
2 Masters players, just to be
Yeah,
clear.
I
So
gotta shout out Prize and shout out
that was Buck Wild,
Buck and
brother.
Greg.
Yeah.
I mean, Buck
That's added.
Wild. I heard he's a Fiora like aficionado. I heard he's really good at Fiora.
He was teaching them the ways.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Oh yeah.
But yep. I mean, nothing else from us. Like Les said, I'm pretty sure like next week we'll have, or this upcoming week we'll have some games streamed. I've yet to figure that out, but that's pretty much it for tonight. GG's for both THOC and Isopod.
We need to find a new name.
No, your name is perfect. No, never change it. And your team logo is actually insane too. I love it.
True. Very true.
Alright, but that's it for LBL tonight. I'll catch y'all later.
All right, bye.